says preparing live stream meeting.
It's already streaming live.
And this is Sports with an Accent. And here's your host, Robert Soltero.
Hi, everybody. I'm Robert Soltero, along with you guys. Josiah Schuneman here with me. We don't have it separately now. We're together, so you'll see us in the same screen from now on. Brian Rios and Seth Pollock. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Great.
You?
Yeah, doing great.
It's
Ready
been
to talking sports again.
It's been a fun day. If you guys been watching the NBA playoffs all week long, it's been interesting. We saw some magic today that we're going to talk about as the first topic of the NBA talk, and then we'll go a little bit on a situation that's been going on around the MLB that I think is really interesting, the Fernando Tatis situation, and we got to talk about Errol Thomas, who got released today by the Ravens, who made another situation happen with the team. And yeah, and our fun last topic this week. So, you guys ready?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. First topic. Are we worthy of Luka? Are we worthy of Luka magic?
No, we're not. We're not worthy of him. I mean, my God, it's still crazy. Like even now, like hours later, I said this before we even went on this podcast, and when we were talking a little bit about it, this is the best performance of his career so far. I mean, are you kidding? His first playoff series of his career, going up against arguably the best team in the Western Conference in the Los Angeles Clippers. You arguably, as I said, arguably. You're down 20 in the first half without Porzingis. You come back
From an injury.
Yeah. There was a chance that he wouldn't play today. Comes back, takes them to overtime. I mean, he willed this team to this win. Puts up 43, 17, 13, and then hits the big shot. Like, are you kidding me? Like this kid's unbelievable. I mean, now Kenny Smith brought up a good point. I was watching Inside the NBA earlier. Like he's been saying this for the past few weeks. Like because of the hiatus, because of such a long break that these teams have had, like this is like another season. So for Luka, this is like his third year. This is no longer his second year. Like this is like not just MVP Luka, but like superstar like Luka. I mean, like what we're getting in this playoffs, what we got in this bubble. I mean, this is an even better version of him, and he's still getting better. And like I thought today, I mean, his offense is passing, his rebounding, like all that, but his defense was impressive too. I think he did a good job on that end, and he's not usually known for that. His effort was there, but yeah, he absolutely willed the Mavs to this win, and it's a series now. It is a freaking series between the Clips and the Mavs.
It's a series. Go ahead, Seth. I'll savor
Yeah.
this.
As for the question of whether we're worthy of Luka, that really gets into philosophy there. I mean, I don't know. Are we even worthy of being alive? Are we worthy of consciousness? Are we worthy of the universe? But given how bad 2020
Bro, we're definitely worthy of a pandemic.
Okay, so basically, well, that's first off, that's pretty sad for our state of affairs if we're worthy of a pandemic. I honestly don't know what we did to create a pandemic, but honestly, on one hand, we got 2020, we got the pandemic, and we got everything going to the way it's gone, and on the other hand, we got Luka. So I mean, we got that going for us. I mean, what else can you say? Like, not only the way he played today, but the way the game played out. To have the Clippers up by 21 in the second quarter, and then to have the Mavs up by 10 in the fourth quarter, and just shot after shot after shot. A lot of them by Luka, but just by the Clippers too, by Lou Williams. Seeing this game go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then in overtime, I mean, this was one of the most fun NBA playoff games I've watched in a long time. And just to see Luka, this is a game I think we're going to remember for a long time, especially if the Mavs win the series. We're going to remember this game not quite on the same level as LeBron scoring 34 out of 35 against Detroit or something like that. But we're going to remember this game like from his first playoff series for a long time. And this is going to go down as part of his legend.
All right. So first off, let's start with the play. Doc Rivers has to be hitting himself in the head, man.
Yeah.
Cause who was guarding Luka, Reggie Jackson.
Morris. Well,
Reggie.
but Morris
Reggie.
switched on him, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, Reggie just went straight up and was guarding him. It was so weird. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, I was like, it's the last play of the game. You know he's going to shoot the ball. Obviously, Kawhi should have been guarding him, in my opinion.
Oh,
But
that was
Luka, like, having Reggie Jackson, he was dominating Reggie Jackson the whole game. Like, every time he saw him guard him, Luka went to work. Like, wow, like an animal. Like, it's crazy. He was so good with the basketball, like dominated the whole game. The other thing is, I remember when LeBron was coming up in the like early years and like was going through the playoffs, and he had moments where like he had to hit clutch shots, and the first couple times he missed them. And then he until it wasn't until he made the Orlando Magic one.
Yeah.
The one that he hit against Dwight Howard and Orlando Magic, that he was like all of a sudden clutch LeBron like in the playoffs. Luka, all of a sudden, the first chance he gets out of the gate to like hit a clutch shot in the playoffs, first chance to hit a game-winning shot in the playoffs, Luka delivers. That to me is what is the Luka legend. He delivered like the first chance out of the gate. My God, amazing. It was an amazing game. I hope that the Mavs take the series because they would surprise the hell out of the NBA because the Clippers are so deep.
Let's hope Kristaps is okay.
The Clippers are, they need Kristaps. They need Porzingis. There's no way, but they need the scoring and they need the defensive big men down low, man. Like they only have 3 big men. They have Kleber, Marjanovic and Porzingis.
Yeah, and you couldn't play Marjanovic the second half. He was too slow for them.
Yeah, but Marjanovic played really good minutes in the second quarter, man. He was hitting buckets and he was like dominating that. Like he has made up like his role within that team.
Yeah.
Anyway, Robert, it's your turn.
Also, it's not to mention JJ got 5 minutes in the game.
I know.
I didn't see it. I missed it, but yeah. Okay, first thing, let's go back to the play, as you said. And this is a tweet I saw after like an hour after the game. So this was tweeted out by a worldwide Rob.
Oh,
and
boy, I love him.
Yeah. So if you look at it, it's a really nice play drawn with Rick Carlisle, not because of getting Luka the ball. It's because you have Maxi Kleber, who, first of all, screens Reggie Jackson, which makes him get late towards Luka. So he couldn't get himself to position defensively well against Luka, and Luka got himself the shot. Yeah. So if you go online and look at the play, you'll see a Kleber just like make him trail Luka. Yeah. So here's the thing. Luka, he's amazing. But the good thing about this type of player is that he's done it before, and not in the NBA, in the EuroLeague. He's done it before. He's won games as an 18-year-old for a winning team, championship team. He's done it before, so he has the experience. And I think one thing that it showed us today is that there could be more players like that if we develop them like that around the world. If there are players, because there's a lot of potential around Europe, and they can be developed the same way Luka was.
I mean, it reminds me a lot of Drazen.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Rip. Here's the other thing. I mean, defensively, he was good today. That's the element of his game he should get better at. But that's going to come with time. He's still not close to his prime.
No, he's 21 years old.
What is his prime? Like 25 is the prime? Is 27?
27. I mean, the guy just started being able to drink, so it's and he's doing.
Well, in the U.S., he could drink at 16.
Oh, well, yeah,
he could drink at 16 over there.
I guess it's different.
Yeah, but
Slovenia maybe.
Yeah, but see, this guy was developed at 13 years old. He was already playing for Real Madrid at 13 years old.
That's great.
It's insane.
And he was playing with some grown men. I mean,
in the second best league in the world.
Yeah. Personally, for me, I did underestimate, I should say, those leagues, because it just felt like, overseas, there are leagues that are really high level. I just wasn't sure, coming into his career, I was like, I don't know. Has he truly been tested yet? Clearly he has been. I mean, The guy has developed so quickly. He's already one of the best in the game, one of the best point guards. I know you want to say point forwards, but
He's
guards
a point guard
in the game. And yeah, it's unbelievable. I couldn't be more impressed with how he's played today because he needed to have a big game for them to have a chance to win. Now, I will say this. I have a bit of an issue with the whole Porzingis thing. It was a right knee soreness, and he didn't play.
Maybe
Luka almost didn't play.
Maybe they didn't want to aggravate, and his was worse.
The thing is, Porzingis came up from that was the ACL injury that he had. So like they're afraid.
Yeah.
They're afraid, and he's a big boy. He's like a big guy on like skinny legs.
What skinnier legs than Luka has?
So I don't know, man. It is quite a risk. You have to consider it. But man, they got a game without him. So now he has the rest. He has the rest to like.
That's something they could have done in game 1, but
I don't know.
But you know what? But here's the truth. Luka did this on a bum ankle, and you know that he was hurting.
Mm-hmm.
You could see it in the game. There was different parts of the game where he was hurting, that he was getting massages like every time that they had a timeout or he was at the bench. They had like that.
Talking to him.
Add a minute to this because I like this. They gave him like massages with that gun. I know that cost a lot of money because I bought one. Like that really works. And I don't know, man. I don't know what else they used on that ankle.
Here's another thing I was going to say. So I saw this tweet a couple of minutes before we started, and it was Mark Cuban tweeted out that there's no way of comparing Luka Doncic to anybody, but there is a player. My God, offensively, he reminds me, and I'm just going to say it and don't think it's because he's white, but he just reminds me of Larry. The way he just passes the ball. Like Larry was a better shooter, but the way he passed the ball as a guy who's 6'7", it reminds me so much of him.
Offensively, he's James Harden. There's like, I don't understand why. Dude, he moves a lot like James. He's a little bit slower in some of the dribbles.
Larry was slow too.
But Larry didn't move like him. Larry didn't have a current game. Another minute added. Seth, you have anything else to add after we all?
I mean, not really. Just what you guys have all said. I mean, it's part of the legend now. It's part of the legend, and got to respect those European players. For somebody like me who doesn't watch a whole lot of EuroLeague, doesn't really know these guys. I mean, it's cool to see. It's cool to see what they can become.
Honestly, interesting. I would recommend people to watch. I haven't. The time difference is the thing that's going to hurt people for watching these games, but it's an interesting league to see.
Yeah.
I just thought that Luka Legend should be his new nickname, and it goes perfectly with his number 77 if you flip it over.
I like Magic.
If you flip 77 over, it's LL, which is perfect Luka Legend. So that should definitely be it. Just flip over the 77.
Legend or Magic?
I like Legend is just like Larry Bird. So
yeah,
Luka Legend, but
you get the alliteration. You gotta take the alliteration.
I like Luka Magic personally. Also, let me just say about the whole player comparison thing. I've said this before. I don't like comparing players to other players. Like, yeah, okay, maybe Luka plays like James Harden, maybe plays like this or that, but he's his own player, man. Like, I like to just say that these guys are their own players. I don't like to say, oh, he's the next LeBron. Well, he's the next Magic. I just like them for who they are and how good they are as players. That's just the way I look at it. So I don't really have a comparison. Luka's just amazing, and that's all I can say.
All right. Any correction on your projections for that series?
For me?
Yeah, 7 games.
7 games. I gave 7 games to the Clippers.
Clippers win 7 games.
I agree with that. I would say the same exact thing. I mean, the Mavs have made it a series.
Also, we talked about Luka, but come on, Trey Burke.
Dude, he started today, and it was genius. Starting Trey Burke today was genius. He came up with the first 5 points of the game. He came right off the bat shooting. It was like a move, like it was a genius Carlisle move, like he usually does.
And you're gonna think this is a joke, but I actually think JJ helped him or something because JJ has that experience. And it gave him the confidence to actually show out in a playoff game.
But that game, I don't know that game.
But throughout the series,
I think what it did, it gave motivation to JJ because afterwards you saw JJ being like the second coach. Mm-hmm. If you looked at the bench, he was out of his seat. in front of like the scorers, like in front of the table, like Carlisle was here and JJ was like here at the baseline, like a second coach. I don't know if that's
when Luka
legal.
got injured the other day, JJ was the one talking to him.
I don't know if that's legal, but that's the first time that I see like that's the first time I actually see that. Actually, I see someone other than the coach be ahead of like the bench.
We might have to switch the name of this podcast to the JJ Barham.
Oh my.
Yeah, we're talking too much about it, and I'm sorry, but he might be retiring soon, so who knows?
No, yeah, but I don't just want to. I mean, Trey Burke was really good, but the team as in general has really come together and played. Like not just Luka, but then Tim Hardaway has played. He's had some big shots. Kleba and Finney Smith.
With the
Curry.
He was getting offensive rebounds, and I think he could get.
Curry. It's just the team is just a role playing team that's just working out right now against this hurt Clipper team, because not having Patrick Beverley is showing for some reason, at least in terms of the perimeter defense. Man, I swear, Reggie Jackson, man, he was getting eaten up by Luka all game. I saw like you could see it in Luka's face every time that Reggie Jackson was guarding him. Like you saw like the little extra spunk in his step, and he was ready to attack every time Reggie Jackson was. So like they definitely miss Patrick Beverley, like. So I actually I'm gonna correct mine. I'm gonna say the Mavs in 7. I'm gonna go with the upset because the Clippers aren't playing well, and I'm gonna correct my way, and I'm gonna go with my heart.
I want to do that as well, but I just can't go against Kawhi.
Yeah, he's been too good in this series.
I'm with Brian on this one. I'm going to. We saw what they did.
I believe he said that when he's saying this because he likes to be bold.
He does like to be bold.
But here's the thing. I don't know if the refs will allow it to happen.
Oh,
that's fair.
Really get the
Because to me it's weird. I thought that towards the end of the game, I felt like it did feel a little bit like the refs were helping out the Clippers, like helping them come back. It's not, dude. They had a call on Lou Williams on the steal on Luka Doncic, like at the first half of the court. That was a foul, and then they had like a pussy foul like being called for the Clippers at the other end. And that was like a 5-point turnaround, in my opinion.
Okay, I mean you could say the officiating's question, but I'm never going to blame. Very rarely will I blame the officials on a game. Like, I'm not going to go that far and say, oh, they were helping a certain team. Officials aren't perfect. Keep that in mind. They're never perfect. So, I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I get the Mavs. I mean, the Mavs have a legitimate shot to win the series. I just think, like, the Clippers are still too good. I mean, Montrezl Harrell has yet to even, like, find his rhythm in this series. And Paul George has been awful since game 1.
Pandemic P.
So
that might continue, though.
But that's the thing.
Why won't it continue?
Montrezl Harrell, if Montrezl Harrell would have played in those playing games, maybe they would have been like had a better rhythm. Like I think that's like the big deal. Like the Clippers weren't as ready, and I think the Mavs were just like ready to go when this they could have stolen game 1. This series could have easily be 3-1 Mavs.
Yeah, they could have stolen. I thought that was their game to win when Kristaps left.
But that was the game that Paul George went off and he had that big shot. But
we don't know the outcome of Kristaps.
Hey, now that you bring up Paul George, where the hell is PG-13, man? He's too young to get to the PG-13 movie. He's 10 years old. He looks like a 10-year-old out there.
Okay.
Wow, that was.
Let's move on from this.
That was good.
Actually, I like the transition from this because it actually shows out the improvement of Luka and other players around the league. So, happy birthday, Kobe. Today would have been Kobe's 42nd birthday.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to a legend. We know what he was doing to the players, the young players in the league. He was helping them train and all that. So, this question just surged to me, but would it be good to see more players like Kobe when they retire, like help these young players as they practice?
Do you mean like good mentor?
Yeah, be a good mentor.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's
because I want to keep seeing this.
No, what he did. I mean, you want to see more guys like that, not just putting an imprint on the game yourself, but putting an imprint for others and off the court as well. So, like, I think absolutely you want to see guys like that. And I think we are, like, nowadays. And I think, like, well, first off, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the commercial with Kendrick Lamar narrating. Did you guys not see any of that?
No, I heard about it. I didn't see it, though.
Oh, you better watch it because it's absolutely amazing. It kind of gave me chills watching it too. It's just like going through like the impact of what Kobe had and the way Kendrick, like said, Kendrick, by the way, is my favorite rapper ever. Well, one of them.
Respect.
And he did a really good job. No, it's really good. I highly recommend anyone that hasn't seen it, go watch it. But yeah, of course, you want to have players have more impact, not just as a player, but as, a mentor and stuff like that. But I just want to say this, like it's still, even August 23rd, several months after his passing, it still doesn't feel that real that he's gone. Like it's honestly, it still upsets me. It's still sad. And I think for everyone can speak for that. And, because his impact on not just on the game, but off the court is felt by everyone. And I'll never forget the day that he passed. I was in tears, of course. The first thing I thought of, though, was I used to have a Kobe Bryant jersey back when I was a kid, and then I gave it away because it didn't fit me anymore. And I was like, man, I really wish I still had that because, it would have been great to have. I have a picture on it I have a picture of me when I was a kid wearing it. But yeah, this is a pretty tough day. I don't know if I didn't see what Vanessa Bryant put on social media, but I know it was a heartfelt message and stuff. And this is definitely a tough day for her and, for the family, because Kobe would have been 42 today. So yeah, it's even hard to talk about now. It's pretty sad stuff, but it's also about celebrating Kobe and what he did, for this, for not just for basketball, but for everyone, the impact that he had for everybody. I know I'm going a little bit past time, but I just felt like I wanted to say that because of what he did, because he's the reason why I even got into the NBA in the first place. So, but yeah, it's pretty tough, but rest in peace. Anyone that wants to go next?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go. Transitioning from the Luka thing, one of the things I remember, of course, right after Kobe passed, we heard all these great stories that we hadn't heard before. But one of them that stuck with me is Luka saying that one time he was playing a game in the league, and he heard somebody trash talking him, and he just looked back to see who it was, and it was Kobe Bean Bryant. The thing is, of course is the answer. We want more mentors like Kobe, of course. But one of the things is too, as much as we want more mentors like Kobe, you're not going to find many players as smart as Kobe. Kobe, that dude was a genius. And it's one of those things. Very few people we've seen this with LeBron. But we haven't seen it with many people, where people get really, really famous at 18, and we get to watch people grow up. We saw Kobe make a lot of mistakes. We saw him, and even as late as 2007, he was asking to be traded from the Lakers. He wanted to go to the Clippers or the Bulls at some point because he was so upset with the Lakers organization. But to see him fight back, and there's Josiah, yeah. But to see him kind of be able to, because he always had that passion for winning and that passion for giving it all he had, but to be able to channel that and then be able to balance that intensity with also doing things the smart way. Because if you just run yourself to death, all you're going to do is run yourself to death. But to be able to balance that intensity with that intelligence, it's something that I know a lot of people said once he retired, he was going to be someone who was miserable because he had that kind of intensity for the game. And a lot of times when you have that kind of intensity, it's really hard to replace the passion, what goes on, the blood in your veins when you're playing basketball. It's hard to replace that. But he replaced it with a lot of things. He replaced it with winning an Oscar. He replaced it with everything he did with his daughter's team. To see kind of the way he matured, and to see the way that we got to experience his genius, was real special. And it's just, yeah, it's about 7 months later, and it's still heartbreaking.
It's hard to believe that someone like that's gone, and it's hard because you see all the highlights and everything, and you see all the players that play in his time and everyone, and you think about them, and you see where they are now, and then you picture, and then you think, oh, Kobe passed on. Like that's hard to like swallow. It was even hard to swallow like on the day that it happened. I remember just hitting refresh just to find out, just to figure out if it was a hoax or not, because the first one that put it out was TMZ. Um, I just read the Vanessa Bryant message right now. It's very touching. It's very, it seems a little like not personal, but it seems very touching, like very heartfelt. Um, it's hard when you think about it. I mean, I'm a dad of a daughter, and it hurts me. That connection also hurts me. I mean, it hurts me the fact that I rooted against Kobe most of my life because I wasn't really a Laker fan. And also I didn't really like his arrogance that it seemed like it. Yeah, his arrogance. He had a lot of arrogance when he was playing. But it's like needed arrogance. I mean, look at Jordan. It's not like he was like not emulating someone. But I do agree with what Robert said about, oh, he did teach like the younger generation. He was a sharer of his knowledge in terms of that. I mean, he also, like Jordan, wasn't the best teammate at times. I mean, look at the Kwame Brown situation that he had there, and there was like another teammate, I forget, Smush Parker.
I mean, you want the best out of your team. Kwame Brown wasn't giving you the best.
No, Kwame Brown. Hey, if you think about Kwame Brown,
if you play in the NBA, you want to be smart, and those dudes weren't smart at all.
Kwame Brown had a situation with Michael Jordan on the Wizards, and then had a situation with Kobe on the Lakers.
It makes sense,
and he still sucked. He still
makes sense because he's dumb as hell.
He still did nothing with it.
Comment.
Don't say that. Kwame should have gone to college. The truth is, Kwame should have gone to college, and Jordan was not the smartest person to draft him first at the moment. But this is about Kobe. Kobe, we miss you. I saw today the graphic of Gianna and the 24 graphic on the NBA game, and it immediately brought back thoughts of you. And it's hard. It's just hard to think. I can't even think about this. Like, even like I want next season for the Lakers to keep the memory of Kobe. Like, I feel like this half year or whatever, this COVID year, is not enough. I don't know, Robert, you have anything to say?
I mean, yeah, it's still hard to fathom that he's gone. Such a great human like he was. He inspired so many people. I know he inspired me a bit. I mean, I know I had his hate, like my hatred against him. I was a kid when I had the hatred against him. I mean, a Celtics fan who, obviously is going to hate the Lakers and is going to root against them. But you saw it, like the mentality he had. He wanted to win, and that's what everybody wanted to do. But he excelled in so many ways because he gave it all and gave it his all in the court. So.
Yeah. No, with what Brian said about how the Lakers need to continue, I think they should continue to honor him for the rest of the time. I mean, like, first of all, he needs a statue out there. Needs to happen right away, as soon as possible. Shaq's out there. You need to get Kobe out there, and no, this is like, and that's part of the reason why I think like it would be cool to see the Lakers win a title just for him. That would be cool to see. That would be great, not just for the NBA, but for Brian. Wait, hold on, Brian. What?
It's hard. It tears my heart. It tears me apart. It's the truth. It's like really hard. It's like you want.
I thought you were a Lakers fan when I was a kid.
What? You want to root for your team?
I thought you were a Lakers fan.
No, I'm not. It's hard for me to say that no, I can't. It's hard. Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard for me to root for the Lakers. I'm sorry.
I know why. Because of Andrew Bynum. When Andrew Bynum freaking
that has nothing to do with Andrew Bynum. Because
when I was a kid and I was a Celtics fan, you told me you were a Lakers fan.
No. I just didn't like the Celtics at the time because I didn't like the way that they were built. I didn't like the way the big three were built because I thought that ruined the NBA.
You know, like the Celtics, so that he trashed on his own city.
I just didn't like the way the big three were built. I'm sorry. That was just like my main sentiment of the Celtics and Lakers. But just to recap the whole Kobe thing, yeah, they should do another statue in Lakers Center, like in Staples Center. They should put another banner that says KB forever. I don't know. 8-24 forever. I don't know. They made the LA holiday, the August 24th is like a Kobe Bryant Memorial Day.
Yeah, that's right. Remember that. But yeah,
So
they should definitely put like any like 8-24 forever. They should plaster that on the court for the rest of the team's history. I mean, like, no, this is absolutely something that needs to be felt, not just this year, but forever. I mean, because of what Kobe did, the impact that he made, you gotta show that in any way possible. So
yeah. So I guess that's the end. Rest in peace, Kobe. We always say that. Before we continue, I was gonna say, I don't know if you guys saw this. I just saw it, that Luka is the youngest player ever to hit a game winner in a playoff game.
Makes sense. Yeah, 21 years. Makes sense.
He's also the youngest. He's also that he had that 70-point record that was like on par with Kareem the other day.
How many okay, that was the fourth game. He's already surpassed like 120, right, in this series, or something like that.
Points.
Well, I don't know, because the third game he only had 13 or 12. He had something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and 14, I think. But then the other thing is, like, dude, he had like over 40-point triple-double today on a bum ankle.
Well, only two other people have done it. Is that Charles Barkley and Oscar Robertson.
On a bum ankle, and then made the game-winning 3.
Yeah, I don't think those other two players can say they did that.
Yeah, and they did. And they took a long time probably to do that.
Like, that's insane. That's, jeez. All right, let's go on to the next topic because we keep on coming back to Luka.
Next topic. Nick Nurse wins Coach of the Year award.
Oh, this is interesting for all you guys because you guys all were so high on Nick Nurse. Well, he wanted it. You guys always, obviously he deserves it. So go ahead, Josiah.
He absolutely deserved it. I mean, there were other viable candidates, but like if I had to choose one, it would have to have been Nick Nurse. I mean, like what he has done with that team. I mean, fresh off of winning a title, you lose Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam becomes your best player, but you still have like you have a really talented, deep team, really good defensively. They won so many games during the regular season, and with the injuries they had, it was a revolving door. With all the guys that were out with injuries, so many players, and yet they still were able to win consistently and beat really good teams. And now they have a chance to make some noise in the Eastern Conference, and they just swept the Nets as an update, which we all expected. But yeah, I mean, he absolutely deserves that. I mean, wholeheartedly. Now, we had talked about in weeks past about, Billy Donovan, Mike Budenholzer, which were viable candidates, but it had to be Nick Nurse. I mean, and arguably last year he could have won Coach of the Year. I mean, so it's like he has done a tremendous job with that team and with the talent they have. And once again, I mean, they're right in the mix. I don't feel like they'll win it all. I don't think they can repeat, but they will absolutely be a player in the Eastern Conference playoffs. I mean, he has done a tremendous job, and this absolutely is 100% deserves it. So.
Yeah, no, seconded all of what Josiah said to, of course, lose your best player and then be the team that maybe in the East, them and the Celtics have been the most impressive so far in the playoffs. I know this isn't a playoff award, but still right now they're, like Josiah said, the sweep is coming. Right now they have 145 points on Brooklyn right now with about a minute and a half left. That's the most recent I saw. So that's kind of a bit of an offensive explosion right there. But yeah, no, I can see I can see Billy Donovan, but what he's done this year is so impressive that he should have won this award, and I'm glad he won it.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was a viable candidate. He should have won this award. He won it. You guys are, I mean, I couldn't say that he doesn't deserve the award. He definitely deserves the award. There are other candidates, yeah, and I kind of wanted to introduce other candidates to your candidate because you guys were all in agreement about him getting the award, and I wanted to differ. But yeah, he deserves it. He won the championship last year with Kawhi Leonard. He doesn't have Kawhi anymore, and the team is just almost looks just as good. Yeah. Like, it looks just as dangerous. In the Eastern Conference, it looks just as dangerous. They could definitely take the East. Like it's not like a given. The East, the whole playoff thing seems like a toss up right now. I
Mhm.
love it actually. This is like it almost feels like keep the Golden State Warriors out of the playoffs forever.
Oh yes, please. Oh, just keep Stephen Curry out of the playoffs.
So that's not going to happen too long. But enjoy.
I don't think so, especially with number 2 pick now, right? Number 2 pick.
And we're going to get to that.
We're gonna get to
We're
that.
going to get to that.
Nick Nurse. So yeah, what you guys said about Kawhi leaving, but he's gotten so much out of his players, especially out of the bench players, that you don't see out of many teams. You just see the stars come out, and like sometimes the bench players come out, but like consistently the bench players are showing out, and he's gotten the most out of his team, offensively and defensively. So I feel like this guy deserves the award. And last year you could have made the case that he was a front runner to win it.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not just the fact that he's been able to, like, win games with this team with the injuries they had, but he's also been able to help develop some players into legitimate players. Guys like Terrence Davis, who was undrafted, coming into this year, gets the chance to play, and he's turned himself into a nice 3-and-D guy for that team. OG Anunoby, he's had a really good year. Rondé Hollis Jefferson's, carved out a good role with that team. Also, Matt Thomas, rookie out of Iowa State. I mean, undrafted as well. And he's become a really good three-point shooter. He's played a little bit in the playoffs.
Like 31.
31? What?
No.
31? No, he's not that old, dude. He went, 4 years, I think, at Iowa State? I don't think he's that old. But I mean, like, yeah, he's coaching these guys up. And, like, he's really, like, having them – they've all bought into what he's preaching. That's winning games. Play really good defense too, and they got a lot of players in that team that like can do a lot of similar things. They got length, defense, athleticism, and that makes them very dangerous.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to add to anything? Robert, did you say? Is it your turn? I think.
Already won.
So, like, really, like, there's not much more else to say, really.
I mean,
other
we
than
talked about this before already, but yeah, you just
yeah. So let's move on to the next topic. I think. What do you think?
By the way, Matt Thomas is 26.
Okay.
Just to check, just to do some research real quick.
Yeah, he's not 31.
31.
Now let's go to the Warriors. So, if you guys have been looking at the news this week, the Warriors got the number 2 pick in the NBA draft lottery. It's gonna be two different teams we're gonna talk about. So the Warriors got the number 2 pick, and the Knicks get the 8 pick. So for the Warriors, let's go first with the Warriors. Do they trade the pick?
No. I don't think they need to trade the pick because there is a need that they have. Now, LaMelo, not that good of a fit. You have Anthony Edwards. They already have Clay and Steph. So it's like they don't really need a point guard, shooting guard. What they do need is a center.
Wiseman.
James Wiseman.
And it's the perfect center for them because he moves around.
And that's why I don't think they'll trade up because James Wiseman's going to follow them because the Timberwolves aren't going to choose him. They already got Cat. Mm-hmm. They're going to choose Anthony Edwards, I think, because they needed a legit 2 guard. I mean, Beasley's been really good.
After trading Wiggins, so they need
so they need a guy to replace him. So James Wiseman's they're gonna get him at 2, and they're gonna have the opportunity to get him, and they should because like that team is. I mean, if they didn't have injuries this year, they would have been competing for the playoffs. They would probably be in the bubble. They would be in the bubble right now if they didn't have those injuries. Yes, they would. Brian, I know you're giving me no. They would have been Clay, Steph. They're going to be healthy. Draymond Green, and Marquise Chris has done a good job for that team last year. Quietly had a good season, but James Wiseman is the answer right now at center, and I feel like he would fit them extremely well. Now he's going to have to improve his shooting. He's your prototypical big man, and we don't have that as much in the NBA now. So he's going to have to develop better at shooting a little bit, and his defense, his rebounding, scoring, his work in the paint, that's already great. But his defense and his shooting needs to make an improvement. But that's why I don't feel like the Warriors I feel like they'd be foolish to just trade away that opportunity because you get Wiseman with all those guys, those veteran players, help him, develop into a good player. The Warriors could be right back in the playoffs next year. So I think you got to use that pick on Wiseman.
I mean, I think the Warriors should be right back in the playoffs next year, and they should be contending again. I personally agree that you pick Wiseman. I read it out doing a little research for this that apparently they're not high on Wiseman, and that they might go ahead and look at trading the pick. They might trade down to the Cavs, who do like
Well,
Wiseman.
the other guy, person, before you continue, the other guy is Obi Toppin that would also be a good fit for him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
I personally, as someone who does not like Golden State, I would not like to see him there, but I would love to see him get picked with the number 2 overall pick. That would be awesome for the city of Dayton. But yeah, no, I think Wiseman would be the best fit for them. But apparently, their management, which is light years ahead of everybody, to quote, I believe that was Bob Myers who said that, is not particularly high on him. I personally am also not a big believer in Anthony Edwards, having watched the SEC this year. Of course, he has a lot of room to improve, but I didn't see a whole lot that impressed me. I think you got to look at what trade options are out there. I like the idea of a Wiseman pick. I'm not saying you have to trade the pick, but I'm saying you got to look to see what you can get for it, because of course you want to be good down the line. You want to have assets, and Wiseman can be good for you maybe now and especially in the future. But you're still in win now mode, and win in the next few years. And if there is a piece available or a couple of pieces that can help you with that, or a piece and maybe you get a draft pick back still, that's something I think you very much have to look at if you're the Warriors.
I don't know what Seth did because he puts both sides of the argument, but I don't know. Here's the thing. Number 2 pick is very hard to come by. And the Warriors need to get younger. However, I don't know if I'm high on Wiseman either. And that to me is the issue, because the NBA is faster now, and the NBA is about scoring now, and the NBA is about being positionless basketball from time. Like, it's hard for you to draft your center with your number 2 pick. That's my thing. It's not because like Wiseman is not worthy of the number 2 pick. It's just hard for me as a team to like look at myself in my roster and be like, my center, like use my number 2 pick on a center, because it's hard. It's hard to think about it, because like there's not that many 7-footers out there that are playing like plus 25 minutes. Like, there's not that many. And like, you have to think about what your team needs, and your team needs scoring from time to time. And a team like the Warriors is a team that already has so many max players that it's going to be really hard for them to even like sign like newer players like that with the max deal. With the deal with the pick, they could somehow make it into a like trade package where they could get like someone who has like a max contract, or like has like a high up contract, and then pay a bunch of luxury tax. And like, maybe that's the deal that they're looking for. They're looking for a way to like all of a sudden like trick the salary cap, pay a bunch of luxury cap, and have like a lot of talent in their team and a lot of scoring power on their team. And I don't see that from like them having a center. Like, that's the truth. That's my opinion. Like, I wouldn't use the number 2 pick on a center. Maybe LaMelo, but that would be weird because it would totally mess up with their chemistry, because they're all guards, and like, I don't know. I would not. It's hard for me to see LaMelo and Steph in the same team. So
yeah. So I see the possibilities for both. They keep it or trade it, but I'm gonna go with they traded. Just knowing Bob Myers and how good he is in knowing how to move players around and know what the fit on the team is, and also in scouting. I mean, this is the guy who got Draymond in like after their lottery, I think it was
Second round.
Yeah, in the second round. He got Clay at number 11 or 12 or something like that, and he got Steph like at 8, I think. Right? It was like before the lottery ended.
I don't remember.
So this is the guy who knows like how to evaluate like players. But the other thing is, this is probably one of the weakest drafts I've seen in a while. Like, last year was kind of weak. The 2018 was great. But this year, it just, after the top 6, it doesn't feel like there's a surefire thing that's going to be a star in the league. And sometimes of the top 5 picks, some of them become scrubs and they're not really that good. But knowing the Warriors, I think their evaluators would know, and they can get a good trade where they go down, they keep a pick at least in the lottery, and they still get a good veteran player for the team and get a rookie.
Yeah, and here's the thing: what you just mentioned about this being like not only like a weak draft, you got to think this is like a COVID like moment recruiting system. There's like no real combine.
The combines will be like virtual Zoom things too. They would have to evaluate the players by Zoom, not even in person or scrimmages, which is bad because you'd rather see these players on scrimmages. Look at this, Kyle Kuzma. He would have been a 2nd-round pick if it wasn't because of scrimmages.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And yeah, combine. Yeah.
So scrimmages help a lot, and they won't be able to do this.
It kind of gives value to that trade thing because if another team
So that's
values
why I think-
that pick more,
That's why I think they get a player who's like still in his prime, and they get a pick late in the lottery they probably see, hey, this guy might help us down the road. He might not be the guy now, but he might help us down the road.
You know, I get where, all you guys are coming from with this. I do. I could, if there's a deal out there that, is a really good one, then yeah. I mean, Bob Myers definitely knows what he's done. I'm not going to like criticize what he does. He's done a great job with that team. So, I mean, he's one of the best GMs out there. And I guess if he doesn't like James Wiseman, part of that probably has to do with the fact that he only played 2 college games and was suspended for the rest of the season. So that didn't help his stock. But he's still up there. And my thing is like, the Warriors have had centers that can't shoot at all, and they've done just fine. Zaza Pachulia, Andrew Bogut. When they had DeMarcus Cousins, he wasn't that great of a shooter at the time, and his defense was god-awful. So it's like, I think they could make this work with James Wiseman, and I think with that coaching staff and the way they develop players.
Well, I think he can become a better shooter. I think he can become a better shooter because he's still young. He has a good touch a bit for the mid-range. And he moves fast. I mean, moves faster than those centers you just mentioned.
but here's where we're going in terms of the trade thing. What if they could package that pick for someone like Embiid?
What? No. Who would they give for Embiid?
Here's my thing.
Who would they give up?
Here's my thing.
No.
People say you rather trade Embiid than trade Simmons. I think you should rather trade like Simmons than Embiid.
No, of course they'd rather trade. Anyone would rather trade, but they need a change.
And this by NBA articles, they say, oh, you should trade Embiid and keep Simmons. No, you should trade Simmons and keep Embiid.
But that's not the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation is Embiid. If the Warriors were to get him, they would have to give up Clay, Steph, or Draymond, and they won't do that. They're keeping those 3 guys.
I'd give up Draymond.
Who else would they give up?
Wiggins and a couple picks for the future. Well, here's the thing. They had capital for the future and picks, so they can trade picks for the couple of years.
Wiggins and a couple picks?
Wiggins, that's a terrible trade.
Wiggins and Draymond.
Kevin Looney.
They're not giving up Draymond. That's not happening. They're not going to give up Draymond, who's been with that team
I don't
forever.
think
They're not bringing up those.
Also, it wouldn't make sense to put Al Horford next to Draymond in Philadelphia. So why would they trade Draymond?
No, that's just no. Andrew Wiggins.
I'm just being a fantasy person here. Fantasy.
Andrew
Anyways, you want to go to the next topic?
I'm not.
Yeah, let's move on because we're gonna.
I just want to say I hate Andrew Wiggins' game, and I think he's not a very good NBA player. So trading him in a first round and a number 2 pick for Joel Embiid is a horrible trade in my opinion. But that's just me.
I don't know what they're gonna do, but I know Bob Myers has something up his sleeve. That's all I know.
Maybe.
As always.
So keep it on the same lottery topic. So the New York Knickerbockers. Yes, the Knickerbockers.
I'm gonna start this now.
They got the 8th overall pick. Poor franchise. They were hoping at least to get into the top 5, but instead they get number 8. Are they really that cursed?
Yes, they're absolutely cursed. I feel it. It's funny. It's very funny when I found out that they didn't. When Robert and I watched them get the number 8 pick, oh my God, that was hilarious. But at the same time, God, I really feel bad for that organization because it's just like, man. But then again, you know what? They screwed up themselves. It's like they kind of did this to themselves too because, I mean, you get all these big men on this team, Bobby Portis, Tosh Gibbs, Julius Randle, stupid. You get Elfrid Payton, you got Dennis Smith, you got all these guards stupid. So it's like they haven't really done
Mitchell
themselves
Robinson.
favors. Mitchell Robinson's the only promising
Well,
player on
he's
that
the only
team.
one that looks.
And Randall's good. Robinson's going to be the next DeAndre Jordan. Although, I said before I don't like saying the next players, but he plays a lot like. But the Knicks are so cursed. It's
The only future they have are those two and Barrett.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, RJ Barrett. He's good too. He'll be him and Mitchell Robinson, the only guys on the team that I feel good about. But it's like
Kevin Knox, buddy. Sorry, you
God.
got picked at the wrong time. It should have been MPJ.
He doesn't even need to be talked about because he sucks.
Scrub.
So yes, absolute scrub. So yeah, it's just like this. I feel like every year we have this. Like last year, everyone was like, "Oh my God, can they get that number 1 pick? Can they get Zion?" They don't get it. It's like, and then like, oh, can they land a big free agent? They don't. It's like every year with this team, they just fail in the offseason every single year. And it's like a lot of that has to do with the fact that James Dolan and that terrible front office. I mean, they don't know what they're doing down there. It's like they've had now Tom Thibodeau is a good addition to that team as a head coach. But yeah, it's like because top 5, they could. But then again, it's like we don't even know if they would have gotten a top 5 pick. Who knows? They would have failed on that one too. So it's like, man, I feel for them as an organization, but at the same time, they kind of deserve it because they have not done themselves any favors, and nobody wants to play there.
Before you guys continue, I just wanted to say, so the Twitter page Hoops Central tweeted out today, according to Ian Bagley, people in the Knicks organization believe they're well positioned to trade for a star. They say this every year. And I tweeted out, the Knicks say this every year. Like I say, my New Year's resolution is going to be working out.
Yeah, it's literally that. They do that every year, and yet they don't do it. So it's not happening. So that's nothing. Once again, the Knicks are trying to be so like optimistic about, oh, we're going to get the big star. When's the last time they've landed a big star in free agency? Yeah, I can't tell you a year when that happened. So that organization's a joke. And they continue to prove that. And I mean, they could get a good player in this draft, but it's like if you were the Knicks, you want to get.
I mean, the 8th pick.
Your answer was Amari. It was Amari. It was Amari.
2010.
Yeah, okay, he was good, but like they didn't really go much anywhere.
But it was like he was the free agent. It was like a splash.
Yeah, it was.
Well, they got him pretty late when the injuries came.
Yeah, they came right after his signing. So, but yeah, Seth, your turn.
Yeah, I'm generally not a big believer in curses. I would say if the New York Knickerbockers have a curse, his name is James Dolan. I mean, this is something. I mean, yeah, it's bad luck to get the 8th overall pick, but I guess I kind of feel bad for the fans. But at this point, like if you're a Knicks fan, you should really know what you signed up for. You don't sign up for fun when you're a Knicks fan. Eventually, this team is going to be good, and when they are, it's going to be really cool because New York City. If Brooklyn's probably going to. I don't believe in Kyrie, but with
Brooklyn's going to be good this year.
Yeah, they're going to be a team that can make even an NBA Finals, but they're not the team of New York. Like it's like the Mets and the Yankees. The Mets can make a World Series, but the Yankees are the team of New York. The Knicks are still the team of New York. So I mean, at some point, the Knicks are going to be really good again. I don't know. Maybe that's when James Dolan is no longer the owner, or maybe they'll get lucky, get a couple picks, and maybe the right guy will want to come to Madison Square Garden because it's such an awesome arena. But at some point, they're going to be really good again, and it's going to be awesome to see because it's been a long time, and that kind of city should have.
It's going to be a long time coming as well.
I'm sorry, Seth. It's just you were saying at some point they're going to be good. Whatever that is, we don't know what that's going to be.
That was the funny thing. That was the funny thing. Wait.
That was the funny thing. Yes.
Okay, the way you guys were talking, I thought you saw something on your phone that was funny. The way you guys.
No. It's just the fact that you said at some point they're going to be good. Whenever that's going to be.
Over under 25 years.
Yeah, 25 years, give or take.
They were expecting to get Zion last year. That's what I come back. That's what I come back to when this happened.
Durant, and they literally said no.
They never had a chance.
No, they actually no. No, wait, Kemba. 2 weeks ago, I saw He was in an interview with Brian Rucco on his podcast with Cece Sabathia, and he said, I literally considered going to the Knicks. They just went in another direction.
That was
A little different.
I don't know. Here's the thing. Sorry, Knicks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Knicks fans. It sucks, but you have probably the worst owner in the sports world. Actually, no, I take that back. The Washington football team's owner
there you go.
You got it.
is worse in my opinion. But Dolan is close.
Yeah.
But at the
Pretty
same
bad.
time, you can't say immediately I was heartbroken for all the Knicks fans when I saw them go up in 8, and I was like, oh great, so they there's no way that they're gonna get like a team changing talent, which is what that's the thing, they need a team changing talent. Even though they have RJ Barrett, they are so far away from like being a team in contention. They're really far away.
Yeah.
And don't expect Tom Thibodeau to like all of a sudden be Mr. Miracle Worker.
Hey, they signed Mike Woodson.
As an assistant?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, at least you're improving.
Yeah, that's
But
wasn't he? He was their former head coach, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, he was the one guy that got him to 50 wins. So it's like that'll help, but it's like again, this.
He got them with 50 wins with Carmelo and J.R. Smith. Imagine that.
And Raymond Felton.
That was actually a good team.
And Raymond Felton.
I remember that. Raymond Felton is decent for that team. Don't.
Raymond
give him crap.
Felton, man.
He's a good player, but like, I guess I've been looking at mock drafts lately, and it seems like they could be getting Devin Vassell from Florida State, small forward. I don't know if you guys heard him, but he was really good there. So I mean, that's gonna help. I mean, they'll have a nice little young nucleus with him, Barrett, Robinson. But again,
his ceiling right now looks.
They're just
way
so
average
far
than
away.
player.
Look at
they would have loved to get like Obi Toppin right
Mhm.
now. That's what they would love right now. Not a Devin Vassell player who could be good, but he won't be legit. You know,
Because Obi Toppin might not be the guy who's going to get All-Star games, but he's going to be the guy that gets you 20 points a game.
I think he'd be awesome.
But it's also, you got to even think about the teams that are now being successful are a big mix of talent and everything. It almost feels like no one's going to go sign for the Knicks anymore. Like there's no veteran.
Yeah.
Like what's the appeal? Because now you have Brooklyn like nearby, and they're like, they're a team. Like if I was a like veteran free agent right now and I wanted to sign for a veteran's minimum contract,
Go down the street at Barclays Center.
I would go to Brooklyn.
What you need is a big star. That's the only thing that's going to get the veterans, like the veterans who want to sign the veterans minimum, to play for the Knicks. You need a chance to win. Why else would you?
And you got to spend money because they do not want to do that. They do not.
What star is gonna go to the Knicks and like fix it?
Okay, look at the free agency class this year.
Why are we
It's
doing
going to
this?
go to the Knicks. The guy who decides, you know what? The Lakers have been really good. The Bulls have been really good. Lakers have had however many championships this decade. The Bulls have had their own times of greatness. The Heat have been good. I get to be the guy to turn around the New York Knicks. And if I even make an NBA Finals with the New York Knicks, who haven't made a Finals this millennium, then I'm gonna be. That's equivalent to winning 2 championships in LA because I'll be the guy who brought the Knicks.
The draft
Knicks
class
could be
is
the-
not that big. And look, the top player in the draft class is not going to the Knicks, which is Anthony Davis.
You mean free agency?
Yeah, my bad. Free agency.
So here's the
and the
thing.
next guy you got is DeMar DeRozan. Probably could go there.
I don't see any of them going there.
But
Like,
here, no,
not
I don't
quite
see
right.
anyone's. Here's what I see. Here's what I see.
To play for that team.
Maybe they can make a package, and maybe they can get like Chris Paul. Maybe
Yeah,
they
Trade
can
all
get.
their failed product.
Yeah, people will want the 8th pick in the 2020 draft.
Yeah, let's see. Let's trade Dennis Smith, Frank Tilakina, Kevin Knox, all failed products. All failed products. To see if you can get a good
For
player.
Chris Paul, who
wants
is a horrible contract.
God, nobody's
Dude,
gonna want.
Look at this. Look at this. The last 10 years, look at their draft picks. Andy Routings, never heard of him. Landry Fields, you guys remember Landry Fields?
He was good.
He was good.
Dude, he was
Uh,
great
Even
during
Shumpert.
Vinsanity period.
Even Shumpert. Costas Papanikolaou.
He went to the Rockets.
Tim Hardaway. Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Clay Anthony Early. Oh my God, Clay Anthony Early.
Ron Baker. Ron Burgundy.
Well, he wasn't drafted.
I know.
Kristaps Porzingis is probably their best player they ever drafted.
And traded him.
And traded him because Dolan was mad.
Oh my God! Think about it now. Now they trade him away. You got Dennis Smith, who hasn't played at all.
Yeah,
They have absolutely lost that trade. Oh
And
my
they
God.
traded Tim. And they traded Tim Hardaway, which was
You
like
got
a
Kevin
great
Knox.
contributor for
Mitchell
the.
Robinson has been the best player.
Dude, he's trying to talk, man.
What?
What did you say, Brian?
No, and they traded, and in that same trade was Tim Hardaway, who's contributing for the Mavs as well. So
That's
it's
right. Like, oh my God, how badly did they flop with that trade? Yeah, but sorry, what were you saying? Keep going. Finish the list.
Mitchell Robinson, Kevin Knox. Mitchell
Okay.
Robinson probably the only player
Robinson's
there.
the only one that's actually worked.
RJ Barrett.
Okay, those two. That's
And you
it.
got Kyle.
oh.
No,
Robert and Josiah seem to have gotten frozen.
they're in the twilight zone.
And not only that, they're like into it right now, into a conversation.
How long do you think it's going to take for them to realize that we're no longer live? Over under like 3 minutes.
I have no idea, but we're
No,
we're
I noticed it.
We hear you.
Okay,
Wait, can you hear us?
oh, now we can hear you.
we found them.
Oh my God, jeez, Robert's freaking. Computer sucks. Wait.
It's great. It's great to be live and in color.
Yeah, living color.
Yes.
So maybe we should have an intermission and
You
have
guys
them
hear us?
connect.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear
Robert
you.
leave. I see
Robert,
Robert.
we hear you. You're muted and you just let someone in. Look, you have friends. Oh my God. This is great.
All right, are we good? Are we good?
We can move on from topic. Yeah, we're good. You guys, I saw the people come in your house.
Who's in there?
But
Say
you guys
hi.
can hear us though, right?
Say hi. Yeah, say hi. Tell them they're alive.
This is Kate and Alex.
Hey, kid.
Hello, everybody. You guys are live on YouTube.
Yeah, you guys are on YouTube now. It's gonna be viral. Yeah.
You're gonna be famous tomorrow.
Wait. Okay. So where did we stop? Where did you guys stop?
You guys were ranting how the Knicks were the worst franchise in the
Robert was
world.
still going over the draft picks.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think he finished. He finished because he got to RJ Barrett.
Move
So
on.
I think we can move on.
They drafted Clay Anthony early.
No, yeah, the draft sucked. The drafting sucks. We can move on from this
Yeah,
monstrosity of an organization.
God, nothing's gonna change until they get that owner out of there.
Unless they get rid of that. The
I think
only
it's
way-
hilarious.
The only
Dude,
way
I don't
if they
I
get
don't
lucky.
like. I'm pissed about it because I like the city of New York. I like seeing it. Come on, it's the most valuable team in sports, and it sucked for so many years.
But here's the
It's
thing.
horrible.
I almost feel like it's gonna be like all of a sudden there's gonna be like this random NBA superstar that's gonna be like, I want to be the one that fixes the Knicks.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's my whole argument.
I am the Knicks fixer.
Yeah,
And
we'll
then
see
becomes
about
Mr. Nick. Because you know
But-
what? There is a legend to that. There is someone, if you fix the New York Knicks,
Mhm.
you could be bigger than anyone. It's actually like that's how big the bad legend of the Knicks
Probably
is.
be the best player in Nick history and passing here at Patrick Ewing.
But the thing is, so
Yeah.
Come on,
That's-
literally, look at that. The best player probably in Knicks history, Patrick Ewing, is probably not even the top 30 player in NBA history.
what?
Oh,
He's top
think so.
30. He's
No.
top 30.
Patrick Ewing's
No.
up there. Patrick
No.
Ewing. He's one of the great big men of all time.
I don't
Big men
think
of all
so.
time. You're crazy.
I don't know,
Okay.
Seth. I wanted Seth to finish his thought. He
Yeah,
got
so-
interrupted like
So
twice.
we'll see if this happens. So,
He did.
but I get what Brian's saying, and yes, it could happen. But at the same time, like that guy wants to be Mr. Nick. Like in 2010, we thought maybe Mr. Knicks, we would get two Mr. Knicks. We get LeBron and Wade. Instead, they got Amari, and then because Carmelo wanted that long-term deal, he wasn't a free agent until 2011, so they had to trade for him. They got two superstars, but not superstars. They got Melo and they got Amari. They got two Mr. Knicks who are going to go there. And you know what you're going to get with that? You're going to get like knocked out in the second round most years. So it depends which superstar you're going to get. Are you going to get the next LeBron, or are you going to get the next Melo and Amari? Because if you get the next Melo and Amari, you'll be good. But if you that superstar, in order for Mr. Nick to win championships, that superstar has to be on the LeBron Kobe level, not the Melo Amari level.
Jeremy Lin, baby. Jeremy Lin.
Yeah, Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy Lin.
They
The
better
reason-
start like seeing a way to like get Luka out of Dallas or something. They have to like, or yeah, like they're gonna have to start looking Trey Young or like.
I honestly cannot imagine that.
What you say, Robert?
You gotta let people finish talking.
I cannot
Robert,
envision
repeat
Luka
what
in
you
another
were
uniform.
saying because I didn't hear it.
I could not envision Luka in another uniform.
I couldn't either. I could not. First of all, let me just say, Robert, you gotta let people finish talking, man. You keep interrupting.
I thought he ended.
No. Okay, but also let me say. Well, I think I just forgot my train of thought. No, okay. I think this is far fetched. Okay, I'm not like going off the rails. I might be going off the rails here, but it's like, who knows? Maybe RJ Barrett is that guy. Maybe he is that guy because number 2 pick, star. Maybe it's internal. Now they do need to add more players. Obviously, they need more talent. But RJ Barrett, Brian, I see your face. I know you're like, are you kidding me? But you never know, man. I like RJ Barrett a lot, and maybe he could be that guy for them. But I'm not saying it means that they don't get anybody else to help them out, right?
No,
it's probably going to be a free agent, but you never know. Maybe RJ Barrett.
There's gonna be a bunch of veterans that are gonna be looking for new spots. I know that Kevin Love, once he's done with his contract, is gonna be looking for a new spot.
Oh my God, Kevin Love would never go to the Knicks.
Yeah,
Why not?
Another big man? Really? They already have enough freaking big men on that team.
Why wouldn't you put why Kevin Love wouldn't go to the Knicks? I'm curious to know.
Things that you wouldn't mention.
They have 5 other big men. Do they need 6?
Dude, the dude gets depressed being on the Cavaliers. You think he's not gonna get depressed being on the Knicks?
He's in New York, buddy. Are you kidding?
Oh, wait. You do realize that he has anxiety.
I know. That's why I mentioned it.
Okay, but that's not why. It's not because of the what? It's not because of the Cavs. It's something that he's had his whole
Maybe
life.
a little because of the Cavs.
Maybe.
He said it before, though.
No.
But he'd be in New York, though.
I mean, look at the guy.
If your argument is he wants to stay away from New York because there's pressure, because he gets anxiety, like
exactly.
he plays in the NBA. I mean, so if you want to play,
I'm not.
Game, by the way, he's gotten past it before and helped lead the Cavs to a championship and the finals. So I mean,
with the best player in history.
Okay, he hasn't completely gone past. He still has anxiety. That's something.
All right.
But I'm saying that would stop him
let's
from
move
going
on.
to the Knicks.
Let's move on because we're about to
We
like.
gotta finish the NBA. Yeah. Okay, so playoff stuff. First thing is, let's go quick through these. So, what team has impressed you the most in these playoffs?
I would say the team that's impressed me the most, the team that's playing right now, the Utah Jazz. They've been pretty good. I gotta say, coming into this series against the Nuggets, they're playing right now, of course. It's a 2-point game. Coming into this series, I figured that offense would be an issue for this team because Boyan's out, and they weren't going to have Mike Conley for at least game 1. Turns out it hasn't really been that much of an issue because I think as a team, they're resorting more to moving the ball really well. And first and foremost, Donovan Mitchell, he has been unbelievable so far, and he's really leading that team well. And then you have, Rudy Gobert, who has been absolutely dominating the paint against the Nuggets. I mean, Jokic is having problems against him, but it's not just those two. The whole team, like I've said with the Dallas Mavericks, the whole team's come together and are stepped up. I said that I needed more out of Mike Conley and Joe Ingles in that team if they want to really be a contending in the series. And you're seeing that. I mean, Mike Conley came back for game 3, lit him up, 27 points. Joe Ingles, almost 20 the first 2 games, 20 points. Game 3, 8 assists. So he's contributing. Then you got Royce O'Neal. His defense has been really good. Also, Jordan Clarkson, Zoom-made, has been unreal off the bench. Ever since he got traded to the Jazz, he's been unreal. And I love that move for the Jazz, getting him. And George Niang even had a big game last week. So they're playing. Their defense has been better. Their offense looks really good. I think they're going to beat the Jazz. I said the Nuggets will win in 6 games. Yeah, I was wrong. I think the Jazz are going to win this series. Now, I think they got this, not in the bag, but they have the advantage now because they're playing like a team. I mean, they're playing really well together and they're gelling. I've been extremely – and Quinn Snyder, former Mizzou coach as well, he deserves credit too for how he's done with that team. I mean, they've been terrific to this point, and I'm excited to see the rest of that series between them and the Nuggets. Who's next?
Seth.
Yeah. So I would agree with.
Why are you laughing?
Nothing. I would agree with.
I know exactly why you guys are laughing.
It's the Quinn Snyder because that's when the smile came on your face.
Yes, it is.
Why?
Because Quinn Snyder, I don't know the whole situation.
Oh.
Seth, when you guys read it?
Level allegations on the podcast. We don't want a libel suit. But yeah, so I would agree with the Jazz, but at the same time, I am biased against the Jazz because I've been rooting for the Nuggets in this series. And it's frustrating to me to watch the Jazz be that good. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the team that we saw win the game earlier today, and one of the greatest games we've seen in a good while. I'm going to go with the Mavs. I mean, not just Luka, but the 3-point shooting. You got Hardaway, you got Seth Curry. Seth Curry has been really, really good in a way that, I mean, I've been surprised to see him be that level of a player, and just to see this team could be a team. I don't think people thought this year was the year that they could like actually contend. But they're like, is there any team in the West that you would say they wouldn't at least give a series to that they couldn't beat? So I'm going to go with the Mavs myself.
I like both of your picks because, like Josiah, up until the game that we just watched, I was picking the Jazz in this topic. But then the Dallas Mavs won that game, and I'm of course going to pick the Mavs in here because it's surprising to me that I shouldn't be surprised really because I picked the series to go 7 and because I'm a Mavs fan and I watch them a whole entire time and I've seen them play, but I'm just surprised that they finished out these 2 games. I'm surprised they finished out this game. Like they're the team that is way too young to finish out games. And all of a sudden I'm just seeing them play like really good clutch basketball. Really good clutch time basketball. And like you said Seth Curry, you mentioned Seth Curry like a second ago, and Seth Curry like was playing really good minutes when Luka was out like in game 3. So like really good minutes, like amazing. He was running the point, he was running the team when Luka was gone for a little while. And like the whole team, Trey Burke is like stepping up. Everyone, Boban has his role. It seems like everyone has a role on the team, and it's just like somehow they're fitting. I'd like some players to play better, Kleber, but I think that everyone is somehow like making their way in. And yeah, like I'm gonna pick the Mavs. Why not?
I'm gonna say the Houston Rockets. Their defense, man. The defense has been really good the last couple of games. And yesterday they could have won, and we wasn't going to thought that James Harden didn't play in that and almost all of the overtime because he fouled out. And what's impressive is that they won that game too within shooting like probably his worst game I've seen in a while because it was horrible. It was like, God, like 3 for like 17.
He had a really bad game last year. Remember against the Jazz in the playoffs, one game. Mm-hmm. It was on par with that.
Yeah, I mean, and they still won that game. And their defense was good yesterday again. And I mean, the hiccup was after he left the game, they went. Eric Gordon was horrible that last minute, but it wasn't because of that thing. I think the series will be 3-0 right now. And what impresses me the most is the defense, like I said. I don't think the series is going to be 3-0 right now with Russell Westbrook out. Well, 2-1.
Yeah,
2-1. But
yeah, I mean I like that. I like that one because like I've had my doubts about the Rockets, but they continue to impress for sure. I mean, the thing about that micro mini ball, pocket ball, whatever it is, like it does create issues and it's hard to play against because on offense, you have to make the decision of do you want to double James Harden and ask Eric Gordon, Jeff Green, Ben McLemore, do you want those guys to beat you? Or should you just play straight up? Because if you help off of the shooters like PJ Tucker, then they get open shots. It's like they are hard to figure out defensively. So it's like my thing is like you just have to play them straight up. But that's like you have to give up something to play that team. Like I'd be willing to give up James Harden layups, then threes in the corner or wide open shots from deep. Twos are less than threes. But and on defense, they've been good because you got guys that are similar in size and they can all move and you can switch everything. And they got guys that can play, they can defend. Tucker, Covington, House. Jeff Green's been unbelievable. Like out of nowhere. Like, oh my God.
I mean, and they have to take Steven Adams out of the game because they're so fast that he can't handle being around them.
I will say I was
Wasn't
wrong.
it D'Antoni the one that put Boris Diaw as a center? Like years ago. Like that was the beginning of small ball. That was the beginning of what happened. The beginning of what was playing Boris Diaw, a guy.
Boris Diaw was PJ Tucker before PJ Tucker.
Yeah, but he was a Stoudemire at 5 and Marion at the 4.
Yeah, so, but that was to me the thing that started it all, because Boris Diaw came into the league with guard skills, and all of a sudden, like, I don't know if he grew a couple inches or just grew a couple inches this way, and all of a sudden he could defend centers.
He's kind of big.
Okay. Careful. Let's not fat shame Boris Diaw on this podcast. Boris Diaw's
an amazing player. Like that. What was amazing? He was a player. He was one of the few first players that could guard 1 through 5.
But Phoenix also have fast guards like Leandro Barbosa.
But that's what it is. Pace and space. Mm-hmm. That's what Mike D'Antoni's always preached his whole career. And I guess this team is like, while it was risky, because you're giving up a ton of size and rebounding, but defensively you switch everything. You're not worried about a certain player on defense. You got a lot of guys who can shoot. And now, is Westbrook going to come? When's Westbrook coming back? I mean, they probably won't need him if they want to win this series. I mean, they've done just fine without him. So it's like, and they could have won game 3. So I like the pick with the Rockets. It's just, I mean, it's
they
good.
Would face the Lakers, right? Whoever wins that series, or is that
out for tomorrow?
Okay, I see. But here's the thing: you're seeing a theme. Like in the Western Conference, it's much more competitive. Eastern Conference, it's like we know the outcomes of every series. So it's like you're seeing the difference. Now, it's not to say the semifinals in the Eastern Conference won't be amazing, because they're going to be. But you see the discrepancy in talent in the Eastern Conference as opposed to the Western Conference. You got a lot of good teams out there. So
here, before we're done on this topic, I do want to say from the Eastern Conference, the Celtics have been playing really well without Gordon Hayward. And to me, that's really the team that is like surprisingly playing well in the Eastern Conference.
But here's the thing with the Celtics. And being a Celtics fan, I would have believed today they should have made a statement going into the Raptors series. And they didn't. And it makes me believe in them less. What?
How did they not make a statement? They swept them.
I mean, they swept them, but I thought they were going to come out of the gates early and just take the game away.
You expect the Sixers to come out 3-0.
And they only took the lead in that game after Tobias Harris won out of the game. If Tobias Harris was there, they probably would have the game would have been close to late.
So what you're saying is that they should have won every game by 30? Is that what you're saying?
No, well, not by 30, but like from the jump, like make it like a no decision. Like a no-brainer for like decision.
They swept them, dude. What else do you want from this team? And the Sixers are going to fight because they're playing desperate. They're going to fight and play hard, and that's what they've done. That's what they did in Game 3. That's what they did today. They're going to come out desperate. So, of course, it's going to be a close game. Like,
my thing for the Celtics is going to be that guy who they're going to try and stop when, like they did with Embiid in the second half of games. Like the Raptors.
Okay, I just don't know what else you expected from the Celtics.
The thing
every game.
Though too, like you're saying you expect them to send a statement, like
to make a statement with
like,
that.
But also like also if you're gonna win the series anyway, you're gonna play the Raptors next. What's the point of making a statement? Don't you need to make the statement against the Raptors? What's the point of making a statement like, we're gonna blow out this?
But yeah, I mean, I'm not counting them out of the Raptors series.
I just don't get the point.
I still think whoever wins that series is going to go to the finals.
Like, what you think the Raptors are going to be scared of them if they win that game, if they come out early and like have a big blowout win?
The Raptors
Like,
are not
what's
scared.
the point of making a statement?
Yeah, no, it's just like
Honestly, and you know what? After you saying that, yeah, I think they're gonna be better for Raptors because the thing is, the Raptors don't have a center like Embiid, so they don't have to worry about somebody in the paint killing them. And
well, they still could.
They have Marcus Gasol.
Siakam could still be a problem down low.
Yeah,
no, that series is an amazing matchup.
As a good matchup.
That's going to go 7 games, absolutely.
But not having Gordon Hayward, I still think is going to hurt them a lot.
Yeah. All right.
Because I think they would have given them an edge offensively.
So here's the thing. What's the next one? Was teams that are we most disappointed in?
Yeah. I was gonna add a third one, but we're not gonna do that because it's basically almost the same.
Yeah, the same thing as the first one.
No, I actually had one that's different from the.
You're gonna say the Mavs, aren't you?
No, disappointed.
The team or the series? I thought we said series that disappointed us.
Yeah, you can say series or team. Yeah, okay. Okay. I mean, go with series if you want.
All right, because I thought the Heat Pacers series was disappointing. Like I expected more from that series. I expected more out of the Indiana Pacers. But it's clear. I mean, coming into the series, I thought they talent-wise, even with the Pacers not having Sabonis, I thought talent-wise they were still on par with the Heat, and I felt like that would create a deeper series. But clearly, not having Sabonis has hurt that team big time offensively, and Oladipo just hasn't been good in this series, and he hasn't shot well, and I get it. You know, he's still trying to figure that. We were never gonna get that Oladipo this year. We're gonna get it next year, but it's like. And, you know, the Pacers are like that has forced guys like Malcolm Brogdon to step up. And he's had a really good series, but that's pretty much about it. Like TJ Warren has fallen back down to earth like I expected because Jimmy Butler has locked him up. I mean, I said that was going to happen. And the Heat they're just they're a well-oiled machine. Like they play with great chemistry. They got a lot of good players. And Jimmy Butler, I mean, he's been unbelievable in this series. 3-point shooting was so bad in the regular season. In this series, he's been amazing and he's been clutch. And then you got, Duncan Robinson hitting shots. You got Goran Dragic, who they put in the starting lineup for Kendrick Nunn, who hasn't played a minute of the series, which I get because Kendrick Nunn did not play well in the bubble in the regular season. And they prefer a guy that's more proven, that has more experience. And Goran Dragic, who's been great in this series, Adebayo, and then here off the bench, that lineup for the Heat. Hero, Iguodala, Butler, Dragic, and Adebayo has just killed the Pacers. And I think that's going to be something that could help them in their future series when they play the Bucks. Like, I just thought the Pacers were going to come out and make it a legit series, but it hasn't really been that. And I think part of the reason of that is because, like, the Heat have gotten the free throw line a ton. Game 3, they had 52 free throws. 52. Now, part of that is probably because the officiating wasn't great. But also 52 free throws. I mean, they were aggressive and they were drawing fouls. I know Jimmy had 20 of those free throws. But I remember like the Pacers' discipline and their execution has not been very good. I mean, they came back in game 3 down 18. They could have quit. They didn't. They came back. I'll give them credit for that. But late in the game, they had some breakdowns. There was one particular play where it didn't look like the Pacers had any idea what they were running offensively, and it turned into a horrible turnover. Like, it's just mental lapses that they were having that really, and I think Sabonis clearly has caught, if Sabonis was playing in this series, I think this series would have been 7 games, and they would have had a shot. They could have won this series, but without Sabonis, he is the heart and soul of that team, and they're just not the same. They're just not the same without him. So that's the series that disappointed me, and the Pacers have disappointed me. The Heat have been really good.
Let me do mine first between you guys. What he said. You guys can go.
That's it. That was it for you. Okay, then let me go mine. Seth, I know that you're next, but I'm gonna go real fast because I just want to get through this one real fast. Mine is the Sixers. I mean, but then again, what do you expect? I mean, they had no Ben Simmons, so basically, I'm just disappointed in Embiid. And just the way that they've been using him and the way that the team has just looked and has been playing. I mean, I expected Embiid, like after game 1 and seeing like Embiid, like in the first half, like be all dominant in the bottom blocks. Like I expected more of that in the series, and he hasn't really done that much. They got swept. So yeah, I got disappointed in them.
Let me add something to that. Tobias Harris, man, $180 million they pay him. And he didn't show up until this game, where he was showing up in the second half until he got injured. But yeah, I
Which
mean,
was
the
scary.
first three games he was horrible. Along with Al Horford. Al Horford had like 5 points between the first 2 games each game. And yeah, I mean, those 2 guys, they paid them a lot of money and they weren't showing out. Only MB was showing out.
I do want to point out the Tobias Harris thing. He didn't play well the first 3 games. He played well this game. I'm just glad he's okay, because that fall that he had where his head smacked off the freaking court, like I thought that was going to be like the end of he was going to be out for the game, but he came back and he played. I'll give him credit. He gave it all he could, but it wasn't enough. But yeah, the Sixers are another good one. Like I thought about that one too, because I said that I thought it would be a 6-game series. I thought, okay, I'll admit this right now, guys. I was wrong. I was wrong about the Sixers. I really thought they would come out and compete and go 6 games and make it a series, but Embiid didn't play. Played well, but could have been better, and he didn't get any help. And it's just it disappointed me because they made me look like a fool. And they didn't. They disappointed me.
I enjoy that. I enjoy that very much.
Hey, you know what? I can admit to being wrong many times.
I enjoy that very much.
And I can admit to it. So yeah.
By the way, the Magic won a game.
Seth, who disappointed you?
Wait, what about the Magic?
The Magic won a game, he said. By the way, Seth, who disappointed you?
Because I said.
Okay. Go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say. Were you going to say something?
I was going to say, like we were saying, because I said the Magic get swept and they won a game, and so I said I was wrong about that. But the Bucks have killed in the last 2 games. They're going to win the series. Like it's fine. So they're going to.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say, though, one person, not even the Celtics fan, said the Celtics were going to sweep, but one person did. So I like to think of myself as a visionary on that one.
You were the one that said who was going to sweep him, right?
I was trying to. Yeah, I said that. Because when we watched the game, I was like, man, didn't Seth say that there would be a sweep? Yeah, Seth, you called it, man. I'll give you full credit for that. Full credit. Congrats on that.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, no, I was the one who caused it. Not only did I call it, I caused the results to be what they were. So I deserve all the credit for that. But to go to teams that have disappointed me, one team is on there right now. Right now they're up 4, but generally the Nuggets have not looked good. Game 3, just laying a total goose egg, not even showing up really against the Jazz. This was a team that I thought with the way kind of MPJ had emerged as a star, he's kind of been disappointing in the first few games.
I told you, like, you're gonna put him in that situation. He's not gonna. That was just too fast to put him in that situation.
I understand that, but at the same time, I thought we might see better than that, just because I didn't expect him to be that good in the bubble. And I mean, he really balled out in the bubble. But they just haven't. I was another one who picked the Nuggets to win the series, and now, I mean, maybe they tie tonight, but long-term prospects for the Nuggets this year do not look particularly good. But I mean, that's kind of a shame for me because I've been rooting for them. Also, quickly, I would say the 2 number 1 seeds have kind of been disappointing, even though they're both up 2-1. The Bucks they're not looking like the level that I thought they might of being the best team in the league that's just going to go ahead and dominate. And also the Lakers. I mean, they were able to get that Game 3 victory, but a lot of it's Dame. A lot of it's the Blazers playing them even. But the Lakers generally, they also look like that team that if you thought they were going to just flip that switch and then be that team that's going to go into the playoffs and be a completely different team. No, they look like bubble Lakers again. They're not. They didn't flip the switch. So I would say those are the teams that have disappointed me.
Bubble Lakers, the next chewing gum from Wrigley's.
I don't know if I'd say. I mean, yeah, the Lakers and Bucks both lost their first games. I would say more so the Bucks than the Lakers. I mean, the Bucks have blown out the Magic the last 2 games. So it's like I feel like they're playing just fine the last couple games. And the Lakers, I expected that to be a tough series. I'm not surprised that it's 2-1 right now. I mean, game 2 they obliterated them, and last game they pulled away. So it's like, and LeBron like was quiet kind of the first 2 games, but last night killed it. Davis has been really good the past 2 games. So I don't know if I'd say they disappointed me. I kind of expected the Blazers to win a game.
Well,
Last
Danny Green has disappointed me.
But yeah, that's just a
I mean,
shooter thing.
There's pandemic Pete, but Danny Green's been bad.
At least it's happening. At least it's happening early on in the playoffs. Like I'm sure that Danny Green will come back from. That's just it's a shooting slump. It happens, and I'm sure that he'll keep his confidence up and he'll come back, and you'll see it later in the playoffs. What I have noticed about the Lakers, and now that we're mentioning it, I'll use this little time to like talk about it. Like playoff LeBron is somehow back. That's what I see.
Somehow, of course, playoff LeBron was going to come back.
Somehow. Why not say somehow, man?
I
Age,
mean,
man. Age.
Year 17. It's just year 17, year 7. What's the difference?
Here's the thing. You guys are all baseball fans and everything, and like I'll use this. Do you think LeBron will do what Griffey dad did?
Wait for his son to play.
Oh, play. Yeah.
Do you think that he will?
I will say though this. I will say this though. I do not think LeBron James and Bronny Jr. are going to hit back-to-back home runs in the game. So Griffey Jr. and Griffey Sr. are going to, even if they play together.
I mean,
back-to-back breakaway.
Hey, but what's more impressive? Back-to-back home runs or alley-oop son to dad, and dad is like already in his 40s, man. Duncan.
Okay, I think
alley-oop.
But
And
the
it-
back-to-back home runs was pretty awesome.
Yeah. So let's move on because that was a long NBA talk. We got 3 topics more. We eliminated a couple because we're not gonna have time for that.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
the MLB talk of the week is one that I'm really, really interested in talking about, and that's the Fernando Tatis Jr. situation. Where earlier in the week, I think it was Monday, they were playing the Rangers, and they were beating them in badly. And the bases were loaded for Fernando Tatis Jr., who at the moment I think is the leader in home runs, with 12. And the count was 3-0. And he swung at the ball and he hit a grand slam. And the pitcher got mad because the unwritten rules were in play there. And so then the next batter, who was Manny Machado, got hit because the pitcher was a crybaby and couldn't have said that Fernando Tatis had a home run, a grand slam, when they were already winning by a lot. So, can I talk first on this?
Sure.
Yes.
First of all, the unwritten rules are so stupid, and I guess you guys will agree with me. And second of all, they pay these players to hit home runs, to get runs for the team. Even though you're still winning by a lot, they pay them for that. You're a baseball player for a reason. So don't be a crybaby. If you want him to not hit that pitch, you throw a better pitch than that. David Price a couple of years ago said, if you're down in an account and you don't want to let something happen, you should throw a better pitch. And that's what he should have done. Stop being a crybaby. Also, your manager, who used to be a Dodgers bench coach, you don't be a crybaby as well by saying that, oh, he swung at a 3-0 count, we were already winning. No, they don't want you to come back in the game. That's why they do it.
Yeah, I'm piggybacking off of that. First, yeah, this is total BS. This whole talk that's going on, like, I don't care what the unwritten rules say. Matter of fact, like you said, Robert, the unwritten rules are outdated, stupid. Who cares? Get rid of them. It's a 10-3 ball game. You know, bases loaded, 3-0 count. You're Fernando Tatis Jr. You've been raking all year. I mean, you are playing like you were one of the best young stars in the league, and 3-0 count. Like, you're hitting the way that he's hitting. It's a green light for him. I mean, like, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, it's bases loaded. You got a chance to hit a grand slam. You do it. I mean, it doesn't matter the score of the game. Like, Chris Woodward needs to get over himself, the manager of the Rangers. Like, if you didn't want that to happen, then your team shouldn't be down 10-3. You know, you should be competing in this game. You should not be getting crushed. And Juan Nicasio should be down 3-0 in the count. That's what it is. I just think this whole thing to me was manufactured anger. It's like they were trying to find something to get pissed about because they're salty. They're down 10-3. And then you give a grand slam, you're down 14-3. You're trying to find something to get mad about. It's just like, I think it's stupid. And like the unwritten rules, who cares? Like, I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. And like Tatis Jr. did what he was supposed to do and just hit the ball. You gave him a pitch to hit, he crushed it. I don't know what else you want Fernando Tatis Jr. to do. I don't know. I think it's really dumb.
Seth, do you want to go?
Yeah. No, I mean, I completely agree with you guys. Like, honestly, what do you want the hitter to do? Like, do you just want him to walk up there and just take a walk, or just like stand there, or just
Or just strike out because he could have come back from the count and strike out.
maybe if you hit it, don't hit it that far. A single might be okay, but make sure not to hit it that hard. Like, the entire thing is stupid. It's moronic, like you guys are saying. First off, too, you also have the Padres manager. Didn't the Padres manager make him apologize?
Yeah, Jace Tingley.
Yeah.
He made Tatis apologize. So stupid.
That's ridiculous.
Basically, like, how? This is 2020. How are these things still alive in baseball? Now, if this was Little League, I'd totally get it. You don't want to make an 8-year-old feel bad. I even get this, like, when they make the argument in college football. Like, if you're playing, if Ohio State's playing Bowling Green and it's 77-3, like, even then I kind of see the argument, okay, you want the third string to have some experience. Maybe you want your third string quarterback who isn't gonna play another snap the rest of the year. You want to see him have a pass. Okay, I get, okay, if you're a team that doesn't have as many scholarships or doesn't have as much money and you're losing 77-3, I even kind of get being upset about this. But these are professionals, like you guys are saying. These are guys who are paid to play baseball, and it's not like it's like football or basketball where it's a time game. You literally have a pitcher go up against a batter. What are you supposed to do? It is the dumbest thing. I mean, maybe there are even some unwritten rules that I'd be like, yeah, I kind of get the point of that. But this is so stupid. And I'm glad that it's being called out as stupid, which I don't think I've heard, besides the people involved, I haven't heard much defense of this, which is something that I take as maybe people, this has been a thing for so long, these unwritten rules, and maybe they're being forced to think about it now and say, wait a minute, this whole way that we've been thinking, does it really actually make sense? And hopefully they reach the conclusion that it doesn't.
Here's my thing. I hope that this doesn't go and bite them in the butt and have like Tatis lose confidence, like up in the plate in a playoff game and not hit a 3-0 pitch, or not want to hit a 3-0 pitch in a playoff game when he has a chance of hitting one. I hope that in fact, you know what? I hope it does affect Tatis. I hope it does because it's the coach's fault, because you shouldn't reprimand your player for this. You shouldn't do it. You should have your players back for this. You should have your players back for this, and you should be like, if you have a problem with like him hitting that home run, fine. You know what? He'll sit on the bench now. Fine, I'll rest him. Because I don't need to play him when I'm up this much and he just hit a grand slam on you. So that's fine. I'd be like, look, I'm going to sit him down. But that's the extent that I'm going. I'm not going to reprimand my player for going on a hit, like doing his job, like getting runs home. That's his main job, getting runs home. And no one should like all of a sudden question that.
Yeah, and the pitcher's job is to prevent runs. So.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, Brian, what you're saying, although the part where it's like, I think it'll affect Tatis, I don't think it's going to affect him very much. I think it'll be.
I don't think so. I'm saying I hope it would, just for the coaches, because he just like, that was just not the right thing to do. That was not.
No, that was stupid. I lost respect for Jace Tingley with that one. But it's like, also with the unwritten rules, why is that an unwritten rule? How did that even start? Like, who came up with that idea? I'd like to know
because
why.
In the 1900s, baseball was classier, and they decided, oh, let's play like.
Wait,
no.
This time when baseball was classier, was that when blacks were excluded? Was that when
probably
was classier and you needed to do things the right way? Was that when that was?
Yes.
I mean, here's the thing. It's the thing about running up the score or whatever. But I mean,
baseball is classier.
Baseball is different. Baseball shouldn't be a sport that you should not be like considering running up the score because
it's untimed. That's the thing. I get it more in basketball and football because there's a time limit. But in baseball, you can have as many at bats as you want. A game that's 10-3, that doesn't stop another team from coming back.
The basketball thing, like that. This reminds me of like in basketball when it's like you're up 20, it's late in the game, and you're on a fast break. You could, dribble it out, but then you take a layup, and then the team's mad at you. Yeah. I honestly don't have a problem with that either.
Yeah.
Like that type of thing is like. because I remember a game so vividly. I remember this when the Cavs played the Sixers years ago. I'm comparing it to this, okay? And the Cavs were up by like, it actually wasn't, no, the Cavs were down 7. Like, it wasn't even like a blowout either. But the game was pretty much decided. It was like a 3-on-1 break, and then Saric dunks it. And then all of a sudden the Cavs are mad. It's like, if you don't want that to happen, play defense, or don't fall behind. Like that part I don't get either. So that's what I compare.
I would say the only people who have a right to be upset about that in that situation are not the Cavs, but the people who might be gambling on the game, because that could be real rough. If you have a team plus like plus 7.5, and then all of a sudden, like there's a fast break right at the end of the game, and you're like, why didn't you just run the clock out? That's be upset about that. The people who just lost $10 on it, not the team that was already going to lose.
I'm just baffled that this was an unwritten rule in the first place. Like I don't really understand it. It's just like it's a game. It's the game. It's like if you don't want that to happen, then you should be in the game. Like I don't get why that was ever even. So I don't know who made it. Whoever did, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I think it's stupid.
I like that somebody responded when that happened, and they pointed out that the Rangers beat the Orioles 30-7.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Hey, like
and
we
you're
were
mad
talking about this game a few weeks ago, and like, what was it? How long did that game take? It took
it was like 30, almost 40 runs combined, and the game only lasted like 2 hours and a half.
Like seriously, like I thought that was like a
only
misprint.
2 hours and a half. It's insane.
And we looked it up, and like it's real. Like how does that happen? It was also part of a doubleheader.
Yeah.
Wow. And yet they're complaining about being down 14-3 in a game. Like, God, are you kidding me?
They should have called mercy rule.
And meanwhile, Slam Diego is hitting grand slams in 5 of the last 6 games.
Against Houston last night, it was beautiful to see.
Yes, Jake Cronenworth, the home run, the grand slam against the Astros. Boy, was that satisfying to watch. Oh.
All right. I think we can go on to the next
Let's
topic,
move on
right?
to the last 2 topics. Let's move on to NFL now. So, Earl Thomas, he was released today. I mean, he's brought up a couple situations. I don't remember. What was it that he did last year?
What do you mean last year?
Well, he got into a fight with a teammate. Was it this year?
Yeah, Brandon Williams. 11 months ago, he got into a fight with Brandon Williams when they played the Browns.
Yeah.
So it's not the first time.
And then now, today, I think, or yesterday in practice this weekend, he got into a fight with another teammate.
Chuck Clark.
And today they said, well, we're not going to pay you anymore because we don't want more of the situation. We don't want this around our locker room. We don't want it to become toxic. So we released you. And I think they don't have to pay the rest of this $22 million contract, or at least they're fighting against not paying it.
Oh, yeah. So let me just start off by saying this is a horrible look on Earl Thomas. This kind of tells me what he is as a player and as a teammate. Because we just said, this is the second time now that he's gotten into a scuffle with a teammate in the past 11 months. Also, in the past 17 months that he's been with the team, he's been late or missing from a lot of meetings they've had. So already that kind of tells me like he's got some issues. It doesn't seem like he cares that much. It doesn't seem like he has the work ethic right now. It doesn't seem like he's that good of a teammate. And, it's really telling because, he's got to figure some things out because you just got cut by the Ravens for something like that. And there could be more to this that we don't even know about. But it's like, this is also the second time now that he's had a terrible resolution with the team. Remember with the Seattle Seahawks? Broke his leg, carted off the field, and he's flicking off Pete Carroll. I mean, it's just like, and again, we're seeing this issue. It's like, what's going on? Something's wrong with Earl Thomas. There are some things that he absolutely needs to figure out. And for the Ravens, this is
There's a lot of things you figure out.
This is the right move for the Ravens because I don't care how good Earl Thomas is as a player. And by the way, he made a Pro Bowl, but he hasn't been as good with the Ravens overall. But I don't care how good of a player he is. You can't have a player like that in your locker room. It seems to me like he's a cancer in that locker room because he's gotten in fights with teammates, and I don't think he cares. I don't think he cares. He thinks that, okay, I'm the best safety in the game. I don't need to go to meetings, whatever. It's just like, what's going on with him? And it's like the whole reason why this fight between him and Chuck Clark started was because they were playing offense against defense, and Earl Thomas blows a coverage. Chuck Clark gets mad at him, throws his helmet down in frustration. Next thing you know, Earl Thomas punches him in the face. Now, there were definitely words said between them that we don't know about. But that's kind of all you need to know about that situation. And it's just like what is he doing? Like, what is going? There is something. There's a little, not just something. There's a lot of things wrong with Earl Thomas right now that he's got to figure out for himself. And it was the right move for the Ravens. And it just says to me that Earl Thomas, not a good teammate. Doesn't sound like he cares that much about his team either. So this sums up him. This is a lot. It's just a bad look, really bad look for Earl Thomas, and he's got a lot of things to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, like you talk about him as a teammate. The thing is, I understand that emotions run high sometimes, and that could be something that went on here. Of course, you don't punch a guy, but whatever. I understand emotions run high, but the thing is, one of the reasons the Ravens ended up making this decision was, I believe Harbaugh said that they spoke to the leadership council of teammates on the team, and they wanted to get rid of him. So when your teammates want to get rid of you, and there's a leadership council and they say, yeah, we don't want this guy here, especially knowing how talented he is, when your teammates don't want you, then I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably your fault and you probably shouldn't be there. That's usually the only way somebody that talented ends up not being somewhere. So it's the right move on their part.
And this is going to cost him because maybe like teams that had interest in him before are not going to want and have him now because of what he's going to do with that team. Like you get a team like Dallas who's trying to go and like they're interested in him and they're trying to go for a Super Bowl. But I don't think it's the best decision for them to make because it could hurt their locker room.
And you could be taking in that big contract it is. I mean, during a pandemic, do you really want to take all that money on your team right now and have a cancerous guy like that in your locker room? I don't think so. I don't think any team should sign him, in my opinion.
I mean, for a price, I think that there's some teams that would sign him for a lower price than the
contract. Lower price, but not. Like,
I'm not saying nobody will look at.
They don't have to take that contract because they don't have to.
I foresee a team like with like high IQ personality. I see the Patriots signing him and all of a sudden like get him like in shape.
The Seahawks get it.
No, the Seahawks are not gonna sign.
Jamal Adams, no, I could do that again. Are you kidding me?
The Seahawks are not going to do that, especially with Jamal Adams, because then they're not going to do that for the safety. I can't see. I also can't see the Jets getting him because they're not going to do it. They just got the Seahawks safety who the Seahawks thought was going to replace Earl Thomas. So I mean, I don't know. I see him actually going to a team that has like strong personalities that maybe can reel him in. What if he goes to San Francisco and like all of a sudden reunites with Richard Sherman?
Please no.
What makes you guys think that this problem couldn't happen again? Like this could easily happen with the next team that he goes. It doesn't really matter. Like I think who he goes to, even if he goes to the Patriots, because like Antonio Brown didn't work for them. So it's like this is a huge. Like we were talking about Cam Newton. Cam Newton, his problems are fixable, but with Earl Thomas, like it's a whole different thing. So
you also have a point there because you're saying what other team would you want to be in other than the Ravens at this point? They're in the up and up. So it's like,
well, he actually like an interview that came out today. He actually said that he wanted to go to the Cowboys.
Did he say that?
I mean, it happened a couple months ago, but like it just came out today. Like mentioned, like, oh, if they want me, come get me.
So that was a while ago, but okay. I mean, I could see the Cowboys getting him, and he really would fit their needs. But it's like that there could still be issues going on with that team that he could create. Because it to me, he's a cancerous guy in the locker room. So what team is gonna? I don't know. Wherever he goes, this could happen again. Like I feel like for him personally, now this might not happen, but I think for him, he should just like stay on the sidelines and just. He needs to give him like he needs to figure this stuff out himself.
Take the COVID.
If the team stops, I think no team should sign him, and it should be a good reality check for him to be like, okay, I need to work on some things. Because what's he really going to learn if another team just plucks him off free agency? Like, all right, you're on the Jets now, you're on the Cowboys now. It's like, will he learn from his mistakes? I don't know.
So you're basically saying he should have an Antonio Brown type year?
Yes, he should.
A sabbatical year where he's just like, I'm shunned from the NFL.
Not become a rapper like Antonio Brown.
Oh my God. No, but yes, I'm saying he should have that type of year because it's an issue. He's having problems. I think that now, if I had to say, it'll probably be like some team's gonna pluck him up for agency. I just think
I see teams like the Saints. I see teams like the Cowboys. I see teams like the Patriots. I see teams like the Niners, like maybe jumping up and like trying to grab him, like towards the end. I see even the Kansas City Chiefs just like all of a sudden like, yeah, why not? Let's just take a chance because we need this stronger defense.
all the money. No, they spent a lot of money.
They already have Tyrann Mathieu. Why would they want?
They're fine. They just won a Super Bowl, so I think they're okay with where they're
If
at.
no one else is signing him, why not just have a stronger defense?
Yeah,
Is that your, like Andy Reid impression, or who's that
I
supposed
have
to
no
be?
idea. It's just a voice of someone that is not me at that time.
Somebody in the Arrowhead front office right there.
oh my God.
That's Kermit the Frog.
That's Kermit.
That's Pat Mahomes.
That's Pat Mahomes.
No, that is not my Kermit the Frog impression. Someday.
Okay.
That's his figure for him.
All right. Do we have anything else?
Okay, I think that's the end for NFL. So Earl Thomas, get yourself together because we do not want to see you right now if you're going to be that way. So, actually, I had this question, but I don't know if you guys want to change it to something Seth reminded me of. So, the question I had, if you had a chance to go back to a sporting event in history, which one would you choose? The other one is, if you had like what was it said? You can say it.
What did I remember?
The Mahomes Luka one.
Oh yeah. So I said if you could choose for 10 years, your team, whatever teams you support, you could either choose Luka or Mahomes for the next decade. You get him for the next decade. You could make it any athlete you want if you wanted to do that question. But if you could have any athlete for the next decade guaranteed to be on your team, who would you choose? I also think for this question too, it depends on how good your current teams are and like how much you trust. Like if you already have a good quarterback or whatever, that plays a factor too.
Which
But
one
yeah,
do you guys wanna do?
I don't know.
The
That's
first
a
one or
tough
second?
question. That's a good question, but like, you have to factor in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
second one is multifaceted.
Patrick Mahomes' contract with a lot of money in it, like that like affects the whole team in general. And I don't know
Maybe
how
you want to
many.
think that true, and next week we'll do that one.
Yeah, that's a good continuous one.
Yeah. I actually already have an answer for the first one. So
Okay,
I'll
the
prepare
first
for
one. You guys can start because I think I have been thinking again.
So this type of question, is it like something that we want to go back to that we would change?
You
or
can
just-
go back to the past and go to a certain moment and
See.
just
Okay, because I have two. I have two right now that I don't want to spend too much time on, but I have two right here.
okay.
One for two different teams. So the first one, it relates to the Bears. Now, I think you guys would guess that if it had the Bears, it would be the double doink Cody Parkey. It's actually not that. It's up there, absolutely, but it's not that.
It's drafting Mr. Trubisky.
Okay. Well played. But no, that's not it. It's up there too. Although we'll see how this year goes. But okay. No. So mine is 2013, I believe. Week 17. The Bears played the Packers. 4th and 8. That's the headline right there that I think some of you might not be familiar with this. Okay, well, let me refresh your memory here. Week 17. This was the year that the Bears and the Packers both were fighting for the playoffs. Winner gets in, okay? And this was the year that Josh McCown broke out and was one of the best backups in the league, and then Jay Cutler came back and was good. And then you had the Packers who had Rodgers out. This was his first game back from the broken collarbone, I believe. And so it was a back-and-forth game. Go to the fourth quarter, 4th and 8. Bears are up. They need one more stop. Julius Peppers comes around the corner, almost gets Aaron Rodgers, misses. Aaron Rodgers goes deep. Oh, wow, Chris Conti blew a coverage. Randall Cobb's wide open for a touchdown, and we lose the game. Now, you could say Cody Parkey, but that one hurt really bad, not only because that was a chance to go back to the playoffs the first time in a while, but because of the fact that we lost the Packers. That one,
What was the
I
wild
hated
card?
it. Okay, I'm gonna let me finish this. So I want that to change. I would hope the Bears get that stop, and then we go to the freaking playoffs. Now, I don't think we would do much in the playoffs that year, but that's a moment I would go back and change because it hurt. It hurt a lot. What?
So wait a minute. I'm also now I'm confused about the question. Is it you go back and you change a sporting event, or you go back to any
you go
sporting
back and
event you
change.
want?
You can either just go back and see it happen, or you can go back and change the scenario, whichever you want.
These two totally different questions right now.
I get
Like
it.
I had the answer of the sporting events of going back to.
Then we can do that one. And what you're doing, then another we do like in a sporting event, we want to go back and see.
Okay, well, now Brian has to change. I read it as like something you would go back and change. That's how I read it.
Maybe I should explain it better. Guys.
Yeah, it was poor explanation by Robert.
Do you guys think you can think of something real quick or not?
I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
That's the
Sure,
one.
I'm sure I know what Seth's is gonna be, but I'm not.
Something.
That is gonna be like the Cleveland
don't.
Indians Cubs game, like Game
Okay, wait,
7.
Wait.
Yeah.
If he could change that, I think
I'll
that's
give
what he's gonna.
I was going to say my other one, so that'll give you guys a chance to kind of think that one through if need be. So let me just say my other one. My other one, I think, for the Bulls, I think is a pretty obvious one. I mean, 2012 NBA playoffs. Game 1, Derrick Rose tearing his ACL. That changed the course of the Bulls as championship contender for years after that. I mean, that was the year that I believed. It was the year after Derrick Rose won MVP. And, we had lost in 5 to the Heat. That was the year that I really felt the Bulls were going to win it all that year. I really did believe it, especially going into the playoffs. I believed it. And to see in Game 1, and Rose was banged up that year from what I remember. He had injuries, and they were nagging injuries. He was still playing really well. But, the injury that happened, when it happened, it was depressing. And I was beside myself, and I knew that we were screwed after that point because we lost that series to the Sixers. Then they became another 8 seed being a 1 seed, although that one really wasn't an 8 seed being a 1 seed. We were shorthanded. So that one doesn't really count that much. But because of that, it changed the course of our franchise pretty much because had he stayed healthy, we could have won it all that year. And who knows what could have happened after that? We would have been contending every year, maybe. But the thing is, what happened after that, I mean, we were still a playoff team. We were still fun to watch. So, it was good. But, of course, it would have been better if Derrick Rose stayed healthy because then it changed his career. And then, he wasn't the same after that. Although he's still carving out a good career now, it completely changed his career and the Bulls as an organization. So those are the two moments that I would go back and change.
All right, fine. I'm ready, but I still want to say my original answer was Super Bowl 4, and I wanted to see Joe Namath win the Super Bowl for the Jets.
Did you know that Joe Namath was a Cubs prospect?
Yeah, maybe because I watched the documentary on HBO the other day and I bet they mentioned it. But here is my answer. My answer is the AFC Championship game. I don't know which one to pick, 2009 or 2010, where the Jets lost first in 2009 to the Colts and then they lost again in the 2010 to the Steelers, and that was Mark Sanchez and Rex Ryan, and I think that was the last chance the Jets would ever have of making a Super Bowl. I would go back and change those games to go in my favor because in one of those they beat the Patriots the week before, and it was such an impressive win that you were like, oh my God, the Jets can make a run. They could be the next New York Giants. I don't know. And yeah, it didn't happen. So, I mean, that's the one that I would really change. That's one where I was left really disappointed. A close second would be all those Atlanta Braves losses against the Yankees in the World Series. Like those really hurt. 2000, especially year 2000 for some reason. Oh, it just hurts. They all hurt. They all hurt equally as much. But yeah, they really messed up in the World Series and whatever. But it's not like all those games it's not like any of those series actually even went to a game 7. So it's not like I could really change that. So I would change the Western Conference. I mean the AFC Championship game.
So is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I like Brian's suggestion on the 2016 World Series. I like that one, so I'll go ahead and put that as an honorable mention. But I got a couple others. One, just because it'd be so much fun. I guess I'll also make this one an honorable mention. The 2011 Ohio State Michigan football game, because we went into that game. Michigan was 9-2 that year. That was the one year that everything fell apart for Ohio State. We were 6-5 going into that game. That was the Luke Fickell interim year after Jim Tressel resigned, before we got Urban Meyer. Braxton Miller played great as a freshman. Well, not for the first few weeks, but kind of came alive as the season came alive, and really, really turned it on. And we went into Michigan Stadium, and we were supposed to lose that game. We almost won that game. If we had won that game and then no other results changed the last however many years, that would have meant that we would have won 16 in a row, because we won 15 out of 16 versus Michigan. So that would have meant that I would have never, up to now, never had a loss against Michigan as an Ohio State football fan, which would have been glorious. But we just fell just short, because we almost won that game. That's the frustrating thing. I think we might have even outgained them in that one. And that was the one year. If we had taken away all hope from Michigan, that would have been great. The third result I'll go with, I guess this would be my winner. I would go to the 2009 Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know which game I would change. Maybe game one. But then again, if the Cavs win game one, does LeBron come back and hit that game winner in game two? I don't know. But I would love to change that series, because for a couple of reasons. Number one, you get the Magic Lakers finals that ended up happening. I don't think people appreciate how close the Magic came. It was a 4-1 series, but there were a couple games that were real close. And I think the Magic were closer in that series than a lot of people think. And also, we would have gotten that LeBron-Kobe finals that everybody had wanted to see for so long. Do we win it? I don't know, but maybe we do win it. And if we do, then LeBron probably never leaves Cleveland in the first place. It's so hard to tell. So, man, given the amount of unknowns, and also, if I could change some ping pong balls, I would change the 2012 NBA draft lottery, get Kyrie and Anthony Davis on the same team, so when LeBron comes.
Wait. I have, you gave so many honorable mentions. I have to give one more.
Okay,
and this is one that just tortured me, because you mentioned college and I wasn't mentioning college. Butler versus Duke. The Butler Duke game. If I could go back and change that and have the half court shot go in.
Gordon make that shot, that would have been crazy.
That would be the best.
That's the best moment in sports history, I would say.
That would be something I would change. I would take back my answer, just because that Butler Duke game and that shot, because that would make, if I could just change that shot to go in, that would be the best game in history. So go ahead, Robert.
God, it almost went in, man. It almost went in. That's the thing. So, honorable mention.
We had honorable mentions. I only gave 2.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
I have one then after you.
No, just go.
No, you go.
I added 2 minutes and a half to this, so go ahead.
Oh.
Okay. 2015 National Championship game. Wisconsin Duke. Last 10 minutes of that game. Watching Grayson Allen go off out of nowhere. Good God. If I've ever hated a white boy so much in like an entire an hour span, it would be Grayson Allen.
Okay, what's next? You got anything else?
Good God. It was terrible to see after beating Kentucky, that team that everybody thought could beat an NBA team. And then we beat them. And then we faced Duke, who I thought it was going to be easier for us, because we already beaten them at where's that Duke place? What's the name of the arena?
Cameron Indoor.
We had beaten them earlier in the season, and I thought we were better equipped to win that game. And we had the lead, and we choked. And then number one, obviously, go back to the 2017 MLB season, and switch that the Houston Astros ever cheated ever in the entire season, because it would have led to the finals. So stop them from cheating.
How about if you could get them found out, like in game one of the World Series?
Yeah, just find out that they're doing it. And just find out that they're doing it and get them suspended. Like,
what would you do if you were the MLB and you found out in game one of the World Series? What would you do?
That's a movie right there.
Yeah,
Like-
just
like,
switch
what-
the
like-
scenario that they're cheating in game one.
Like, I mean, like, do they let him play?
Whoever was in the ALCS just that lost to them, give them a shot. I don't.
So what do you think?
Dude, that would have been amazing because it would have been the Yankees against the Dodgers.
I'm really
So
shocked.
Josiah had honorable mentions. Are we gonna mention them?
But
Well,
mine?
hold on. I'm actually shocked. You didn't say the 2014 AFC or NFC Championship when the Packers choked against the Seahawks to go to the Super Bowl. How is that not one of your choice? I really thought.
Dude,
that'd be that.
I didn't watch football until 4 years ago.
Well, you can still change it because you're a
Still.
Packers fan.
I mean, sure, but at that moment, I wasn't watching football.
Wait, so you weren't a Packers fan until 4 years ago?
Like on the same season I started watching 5 years ago when I started watching baseball. I started watching baseball and football at the same time. I started watching basketball since I was a kid. I just didn't watch other sports.
Okay, interesting. All right. Well,
But yeah, I guess that would have been an honorable mention as well if I watched football at that time. And I know we choked those last like 2 minutes, right?
Yeah,
It was
10-point
horrible.
lead.
Yeah.
They scored onside kick.
Oh God.
Brandon Bostic can't get it, and then the Seahawks come back and win in overtime. Jermaine Kearse game-winning touchdown.
Wow, you have like really photographic memory of this game right
Yes,
now.
because it was I enjoyed every minute of that because I loved because I hate the Packers. Okay, let go. And that was hilarious to watch. No offense, but I mean you have all kinds of ammo on me, the Bears, but
It's
that
okay.
was satisfying.
It's okay. What is satisfying when they drafted Mitchell Trubisky?
Okay, so next, my honorable mention is the 2015 NBA Eastern. Seth, you like this? Eastern Conference semifinals. Honestly, freaking Game 4. LeBron hit that shot to beat us. That was pretty much the signal to the end of that series. Because it was that game after that was D Rose hit that game winner, which was one of my favorite moments ever.
That was
and then
really
we don't have Pau Gasol.
expression. The Derrick Rose expression, or he just
Yes.
looked like he was in like a different, he wasn't in a fully conscious state. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It was
I
like
thought
he hit it. It was like, okay, I hit it.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. One of my favorite moments ever. But then, of course, the game after that, Pau Gasol doesn't play, and then our offense stalls late in the game. We literally had the game in our hands. It was so frustrating watching. We couldn't score. We should have taken that game. And then, the Cavs get a free timeout late in the game, and that helps LeBron get that corner fadeaway to go. And, yeah, I turned my TV right after that. Immediately after that, I turned it off, and that's when I knew the series is over. And that was the series I remember because that was the year the Atlanta Hawks won 60 games. But everybody knew because the Cavs went on to sweep the Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Everybody knew that Eastern Conference semifinals was the real Eastern Conference Finals. Whoever won that was going to the finals, and I knew it because that's what hurt. Because we literally at that could have won that game, would have been up 3-1, probably won that series, and probably would have gone to the finals. And that I still God, it makes me mad. Just I can't even watch that shot ever, even if it comes up on YouTube. No, I won't watch it. I can't do it because that was one of oh God, it just pissed me off. So
Oh my God.
What?
Okay, so now that we finished talking about this topic, I just saw this, and this couldn't be more hilarious. So the Astros just got swept in San Diego, and so they're leaving in team buses, and they have to take multiple buses because I know in each bus it's people 70 people fit in each bus, but they have to take 5 different buses.
COVID, yeah, they have to do spaces.
Yeah. So there was a fan outside a stadium with a broom, and each time the bus passed, he was like,
Was that just happened? Because someone did that to the Phillies
Yeah, look,
last week or the Mets.
They can't see that, dude.
I can kind of see it. I see a guy with a broom saying, "Woo!"
That's pretty funny. I love that because I love every time the Astros lose or do poorly in anything. That definitely makes
man, but that Astros thing, if they would have gotten caught during the season.
I want to hear Astros podcast and see their fans make excuses for them.
Actually,
Oh,
I want to see an
what do they
Astros
say?
podcast. I want to hear an Astros podcast and see what
I don't.
analysts for the Astros think.
Oh God, I would love to know because it's what can you say about that? Well, I mean, it's they would have won anyways if they didn't cheat. They would have.
Gamesmanship.
Gamesmanship, yes. It's
Because
Well, they get caught.
everybody cheated, man.
Everyone
Everybody
cheats.
It's in the past.
Everyone cheats. I mean, look at the Yankees. They got that
Yeah.
sealed
It's in the
envelope.
past. It's in the past. I mean, who cares? It's the past. The past is the past. Who cares?
Let's just move on to the present. Oh, we got baseball.
Wire there.
Honestly, there was a topic I wanted to put for this week, but we can move it to next week, and I'm just gonna mention it. So, of all the things that happened in baseball that have gone like worldwide, because like certain situations that happened this year, I think baseball has become more interesting for people to watch. So I think it's something we should talk about.
Actually, yeah, I have a reporter friend of mine who I actually talk about this topic with him. That was like, but like, because I was like, I don't remember watching that much baseball, and then I remember like, dude, there's so many people who are so into it right now.
Yeah, because so many things that are going on and people are talking about it more. And I just feel like baseball is getting more attention.
Aren't their ratings like the highest they've ever been right now?
So.
TV ratings?
I think so.
Well, obviously, all the credit deserves to go to Rod Manfred.
Yeah, I guess he might be dumb, but he might be intelligent.
Nah, here's the thing: the TV ratings are up because people can't go to the stadium.
Yeah.
So the people who usually go to the stadium are the ones that are watching TV. So that adds to the numbers, in addition to the people that are just also staying at home because they can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I just want to mention too, going back to that 2015 Eastern Conference semifinals, we even got a little bit of Robert involved in there because if Kelly Olynyk didn't try to murder Kevin Love,
oh yeah, dude,
it probably wouldn't have been a series in the first place.
That's right.
Dude, that's right.
Oh, my friends, I miss you, Kelly.
We still could have beat him if they had Kevin Love.
That was so Bushly.
Honestly,
sorry.
yeah, it was bullshit. Now that I'm thinking of it, yeah, fuck you, Kelly, for like causing the letting the Warriors win that year.
Now that you think of it, so you thought it was okay.
No, it was never good. It was never.
He literally broke his arm in a play. It looked disgusting.
Now that I think of it, it led to the Warriors winning. So
he did like this. He did like this.
Well, at the same time, Kyrie is injured as well. So
I definitely know that you are definitely justifying his actions.
No, definitely they're not.
You definitely
no.
Robert,
Like I would not the same way I did not justify the actions of Manny Machado after he put his legs
You did justify it.
I did not.
Oh my god.
I did not. Did I?
You guys remember the Manny Machado tripping incident?
I remember it, and I remember an argument back and forth, but I don't remember what Robert was saying.
You were absolutely justified. Remember we were talking.
But I believe
like, oh, no. He meant it on accident. I'm like, are you serious? Yes, you did.
No.
Yes, you did. You absolutely did. Absolutely. Did.
I don't know. For some reason, I could see Josiah being right, but
no, I am. I know.
Dude, he's half of the time wrong. Why would you believe him?
Everybody's.
So, wait.
Because you could be wrong about sports, but you can not also like not be a liar.
Dude,
I'm not lying.
You are
wait. Was Ben there?
You're so lying. Oh my god.
Ben was there, right?
Yes, Ben was there.
Okay, get Ben on.
Right now, he'd tell me.
That's Ben.
It's not real.
We'll give the update next week. After,
yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna sign off.
I mean, the pokeball on the podcast. I did not lie.
All right.
This
so
guy's a liar.
You guys want to say your goodbyes?
To look us up on our YouTube page, Spotify, and iTunes. Also, our Twitter handles are @RobSoltero. Also, you can. What's your Rob?
J.H. Schumann. Schumann spelled SCHUENEMAN. If you want to talk about how Robert lied,
I'm at Seth Pollock, and like Robert said, make sure to look us up on iTunes. Remember to rate and review. We love that. Whenever people rate and review.
Have you ever seen those rate?
Yes, I have. I have seen them. Somebody put a nice message on there. I don't know who it was.
And I'm at B Rios PR. Also, Brian Alexander Rios on Facebook.
On Facebook. Oh, I knew that.
But thank you guys. Thank you for listening.
Next week we'll probably be on our Facebook page live as well at the same time. So you can't catch us on YouTube, just catch us on Facebook. So yeah, at @sports_@cent on Twitter. And yeah, also one thing I was going to mention is we look like a couple of frat boys with this jersey like this.
Yeah, we definitely do. We look like we're in a frat house right now. But full disclosure, we're in our apartment. This is not a frat house, but we definitely look. I need my snapback too. I didn't bring one, so Love the shirt. Love the shirt on Brian.
JJ Barrett.
Love
Go.
the support. Mavs, Clippers should be a fun series.
All
rest of the
right.
way.
Hopefully,
Okay.
maybe we have something interesting to talk about at that series next week.
Yep.
Hopefully.
All right. See you guys. Good talk.
Bye.
See you guys. Thanks for
Have a
listening.
nice week.